handful of presenters, a mass of microphones, and a whole load of talk. This is TigerTails Radio.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Lots of Buzzing.
Wow, yeah.
I can't hear a thing, hang on.
Hey,
Hello.
Mike.
Oh, wow.
Is it my mic?
Oh, there.
Is it my mic?
Boop.
Yep.
No,
Hello?
it's
No, it comes off over all the mics.
not from mine.
Oh.
It's Pete.
TK, does it come from yours?
No, it's definitely Pete's.
See?
Even when Xavier's in the studio, he's
You
still
guys
causing
get what
problems.
you pay for.
It's probably that bloody... Oh, it's probably the bloody thingy.
Is it because it's naked?
Possibly. I don't know why it's naked.
I did.
I need an adult?
Welcome to the third show of TigerTails Radio Season 9.
The worst thing is, have you tied that to something to, like, stop...
You know what, Joe was going to say, so I was going to nicely done, sir.
Well,
Nicely done.
No one else was doing it. They were all just doing their own thing. There are technical difficulties. This is not unknown. IRC logging in will be done now.
It's powered back on.
You know, I can't actually hear
That's
myself too well in the microphone.
Power's on, that's better.
Headphones.
No, no buzzing. Wow. It put it on the floor and it works perfectly. Put it anywhere near the TV and it goes, ah, no!
Yeah, I had a feeling it might.
You're sounding like you're all the way over in like another studio almost.
I am. Give me a second.
Oh dear.
I was hoping you sent you schmucks up. I didn't actually get a chance to set myself
Wait,
up.
what's that on your screen, Alex?
It's a link from one of my friends sent me. For
That looks nothing like Camry. Worst 1990 X game ever.
What are they talking about?
I don't know. I don't care.
It's an anime joke.
Fair enough.
Anime, ho ho ho, anime.
Anime, yo, anime. Boom, boom, boom.
Right, now I need to rotate this a little bit. We'll be there in a minute, kids. Oh, shit.
I
my
need
mic's
to
so-
rotate this a little bit.
Have you tried working the shaft?
Work the shaft.
Why is
Work the
everything
shaft.
so wonky?
So our fabulous show comes to your ears for yet another week.
Yay!
Yeah, week of this shit.
We will do a quick run round through the studio. Yes, I am Xavier Wolf.
Why do you still sound like you're phoning it in?
I don't know. Probably because it's
That's because he's just
mics.
not very invested anymore.
He's just got one of
Ha-ha.
those voices that just, you know... He's a bit like a
Nah.
One Direction guy.
Fuck you in One Direction.
Oh, that sounds better. I can actually hear you now.
Fuck you in One Direction.
I don't think you can
Smell
handle
you,
all of them.
He could certainly try.
So this is Xavier. I'm in the studio.
Oh my god! I can't see him.
It's a big monitor in between
I
me and
can't
Felix.
see him either.
You can see on the webcam the screen you can see next to studio.
The one
in
that
front
still
of me.
says episode 2.
The
doesn't
Peter's
it?
behind that for me.
Yes.
You know what's like?
Whoopee!
Don't
Welcome
worry.
to TigerTails Radio. Preparation is a thing that we don't have.
Correction.
me.
That you don't have. Some of us try.
Why
We
do you live in
try.
Vegas?
So yes, we also have Felix, who is
Hello.
there. We also have Angel Duck Song, or Alex, who's there.
Hello.
Who is now Lucha Tigre?
Who is the worst person to be in a mask to try and drink tea ever.
I know, it was
Hello.
awesome.
My little chicoritas and chicos.
Oh my god. And yes, we have TK Tiger,
Lo
who's
siento,
currently,
señor. Mira, hablo español.
currently
¿Qué?
waving fingers around.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
Eh?
Mm.
Oh god, that is nice.
This is how we fill up the air, people.
And there is also a 2K Tiger.
Welcome
who is
to the out.
busy
No, that's not going to work.
doing things.
That's not going to
Oh,
work.
TK,
That's
TK,
not going to
Instead of
work.
Doing studio things.
TK, grab
he
some
is
blue tack.
doing
TK, all that's
studio.
going to happen is that's just going to go one way or the other and fall off.
And then it'll get you.
Yeah, me eating muffins. Woohoo! Yep.
But we
That's
still
not a
have
sentence
our
that can be taken out of context.
Usual
Tell me, Pete, do you like muffin?
Uh-huh.
here tonight. I was trying to speak in between your.
Who's in channel? Oh my god, we have a red K in channel.
You guys
Yay.
are like chatting in between each other. He's eating muffin.
Yes,
So, whilst they're faffing about, should we get started?
we have started.
Yeah, we should,
TK,
we should
it's
try.
not going to work.
We
So,
should try.
It
Alex, how was your week?
My week has been okay. I've done work, and I've done moving
Yay.
to Felis's place.
Achievement got! Housemates!
Yeah, he actually knows someone now. Like, knows someone. I mean, I assume you know the other people that live in your house. I don't know them yet. I see them, and I went, hello. And I was like, should I introduce myself? And then they buggered off before I could.
No, that pretty much happened when I moved in. It was a case of hi, bye, bye.
It's not like
Just
I
for
wa-
context, he didn't actually mean moving into my place.
No.
Yeah, they love
The,
us
the,
now.
the whole... Yeah, that happened when I moved in, right? So we talked about my house. I started going... That gives out the weird story there. You were disconnected from IRC?
Yeah.
No.
No, I didn't know. So. But
No,
yeah,
not
so
allowed
I will introduce myself at some point. It's not like I want to be their best friends, but it'd be nice to at least let them know that I'm not some sort of murderer.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
an axe murderer in a mask.
I don't do weird things like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I thought
He
I'd
just
have to give you the
touches
Hannibal
himself.
lecture.
He
He
touches
doesn't
I
touch
get that
himself.
He
feeling.
gets touched by B-list.
A Volon?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, and what about you, Felis?
Me? Well, I got a housemate this week.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
liking that.
Oh my god.
It's
I
like
haven't
your
actually
lives,
seen my housemate since he moved in.
It's like your lives are connected somehow. I find it ironic. I've seen more of your housemate than you have.
I know.
Pete, we can all see your monitor.
Ooh,
Yep.
I have
Do you
a
want to change
brilliant
your
idea.
desktop picture to one that doesn't say "fuck off"?
Does it? I can't actually
Yeah,
read it.
that's
From
so
here.
unprofessional. What a surprise. Good evening, Werewolfie. It's nice to see you've joined the channel.
Oh, God, yeah. So, yeah, I do
Red
have...
K, who's been here since the beginning, wondering what the fuck is going on.
Hello.
Yeah. No, my week's been mostly spent playing video games with the girlfriend.
Video games.
Eating
I'm
chocolate
not
with the
your
girlfriend.
girlfriend, okay? I'm a
Chocolate,
guy. I
chocolate.
can't be a
You.
girlfriend.
You can be my girlfriend, Alex.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can be my girlfriend. I don't mind.
Like, you could be my wingman anytime.
You can man my wing.
Okay.
Would you like to see my X-wing? I just realised I got YouTube comments as well.
Oh my god.
I could like monitor the YouTubes.
Well, somebody's got to.
Yeah, true. See, as currently I'm eating.
That's so
Oh,
much
no.
better. I now feel more professional, like a sportsman. I've got one earpiece in. I can't get it in, though!
We would be
I
the
could
worst.
say so much to that.
We are the worst shoutcasters and podcasters in the world ever, people.
But that makes us the best. It's like Street
Shoutcasting
Fighter.
is still around.
We're doing it now.
Yeah.
We're shoutcasting right this minute.
Yeah.
On the radio.
That's what I miss on Winamp. You can't get shoutcast anymore.
Oh, and just a quick test for everybody on YouTube. This should be coming
Whoa.
out of your right
Yeah.
ear. This should be coming out of your left ear.
Yes, it is.
That's my right ear. and I
We're
don't have
in the
left
studio, of course it is for us, but hopefully for YouTube now, I've fixed the problem where there was only one sound.
That sound of buzzing.
What's really fun is having Xavier in the studio, but still on the SingStar mics, it still sounds like he's away just in Bournemouth,
Like I
as
said,
opposed to
you
just being in the
just
studio.
can't get that like high quality from Pete or Xavier, whatever.
I blame the SingStar mics.
I blame his built-in level cap.
Oh!
Oh, it's gaming related.
Oh! I just like not being on fucking camera for a change.
Yeah, there's that.
Oh,
So
God.
yes, this is episode 3, season 8, and we are continuing our trend of breaking shit
The fun.
and not being ready on time. Woo!
I was ready, and
I
then
was
a power
ready.
cut.
I was pretty much ready.
No, you lot were fucking nowhere near ready.
What?
And then bang, all of a sudden.
I'm always ready.
It's when I realised it was 6:45 after everyone turned up and faffed around for what I thought was about 5 minutes.
No, it was about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I knew this. This is why I was ready setting up the studio.
Excuse.
And then I needed a poo. And then we had a power cut. There's nothing worse than having a power cut while you're in the middle of a poo. Luckily, there was enough natural light
I
from
could think of a
outside.
lot worse, really.
Well, hopefully Xavier is on the food cam.
Yeah.
True that.
How was your week then, TK?
Hard to say. My week has been full of work mostly. And where it was tax year end, it was fucking busy.
Yep.
Ah, so that's why you never called. Texted back.
What text?
I sent a random text going, "Hey, how's it going?"
When?
I was like, "Nothing." A few days ago. So I'm just guessing that work was really, really busy.
I totally
TK
didn't get
stopped
that text.
replying to texts.
I totally didn't get that one.
TK doesn't
Pretty
text.
sure I sent it.
Andrew Pop says he's been sending me lots of texts I haven't got as well, so maybe this isn't just you.
You're not
Yeah,
on, no,
'cause,
you're not on O2, are you?
No, I'm on Vodafone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent the text Wednesday at 7:30.
Narrate it down.
And then earlier on today, I asked somebody to prepare a nice soothing tea for me.
Yeah, but I
Another
was in-
text going, I've
I was
got to
in the
say
shower then.
please. Shameful lack of manners, that.
Yeah, I got them. I was in the shower, so I couldn't really reply.
God, what, is your phone just being run by Facebook chat or something?
Oh, no, there it is. Hello,
Yeah.
how goes?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, TK doesn't reply to texts anymore.
I totally didn't say it, honest. Mind you, I keep my phone on silent now for work, so I never actually know I've got a text until it's far too late. I must also remember that I need to repay for these online subscription things we do. Like, rebuy the domain names and stuff, because they expire soon. And I've got to be
Didn't I just help pay for those last year?
No.
Last year.
year before last.
Was it?
Yeah, because every 2 years.
Ah.
Yeah, right.
Time flies.
Time flies.
But no, my week hasn't been too bad. I have enjoyed many games.
Yeah.
There goes the iToy.
Oh,
must have touched
hang on. Have you got any blue tack in there, TK?
Only one's holding the picture up.
Yeah,
Well,
on
we
the
didn't
PC.
want you to see Pete anyway.
It's a nice picture of the floor.
I'm just waiting for the camera on the stream to
It's a huge improvement.
because
thing.
I'm watching the stream.
Yeah,
think.
I can just
I'm
about
watching
see
Pete
it.
eat, so I can see Pete when he touches it and knocks it off.
Hang on.
Caught in
Oh, no,
the
no, no.
act.
Pete's extricating himself, so. Why isn't that driver downloading?
All I can hear is the clatter, waiting that soon I'll be able to see it. Oh, there we go. And it's down. That's how much lag we got.
Yeah.
Can't TK and Xavier been on the screen at once? No, because we've only got the one camera. And he's not in here because there's not enough space. And I can't be out there because then I don't get me buttons. So, no, we can't be on the camera at the same time. Wow, that's a really clean bit of floor. That was a really good floor.
My God.
That's the only clean bit of floor. What the fuck? Dang, it managed to pick a good bit of floor.
Ass.
Oh, there's Pete appearing on the main cam. oh, wow, live. It's like having multicam. Weird.
There we go.
Have you balanced it back on again?
Yeah,
Well done. It'll fall off again soon.
I've somehow managed to get it so it's actually facing me. This is quite remarkable. Dear God.
That
excuse me.
that almost looks remarkably sturdy.
Yes, it looks sturdy, doesn't it? Don't touch the goddamn thing. Fuck you!
Oh, God. It's come completely free of the housing.
Yeah, so have
Hey,
we
would
talked
you like a
about
hand?
have we talked about Xavier's Day?
It's getting worse rapidly.
Pete? Pete? Would you like a hand, Pete?
Obviously, it's
Yes,
I'm going to
he caught
describe
on
it
pretty
to
quick
you
to that one.
because you can't see. I mean, you could see, but it's better to describe. But
Hang
he
on,
has
hang on,
decided
hang
to
on.
put on a waistcoat
Hang on, the
as he
camera's about to
feels
fall. The camera's about to fall.
inadequate.
Hang on.
Don't touch the
Well,
goddamn
what can I
thing.
say? We've set some,
Sorry, I just had to play that bit.
Yes,
we've set some pretty high standards.
we have. I mean, both us into it completely. Shirt, waistcoat, trousers, luchador
Headgear.
mask.
I couldn't bring my
I can't come around here and socialise in just my normal shit because everyone fucking turns up in shirt and waistcoats.
Oh, you should wait till next week. I'll be looking even fancier.
Oh yeah, I need to buy a jacket as well.
It's the land of the
Yeah, I've
one-up
got to get a new
clothes
jacket
dressing.
at some point. You're going to buy one of those unbalanced ones, because that, right? You guys can pull that off.
I don't know what I'm gonna get. I have no idea yet.
So my week has mostly
Oh,
been
no,
filled
why are
with
the
work.
straight guys talking about fashion?
I'm not saying a word.
And that's
Gay?
I am so far away. What the fuck is up with this?
Gay and in a tiger mask.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
I should be.
What, in Alex?
I couldn't be in Alex even if I wanted to.
Suddenly
Moving on.
there's quite... Yeah, so my week has mostly been filled with work. It's been the week before the holiday, because this is my holiday week, so immediately, really slow week of hell. Oh. It's like, you have a call. Excellent. That lasts 5 minutes. Now have 5 minutes of nothing to do.
Yeah.
Solid.
How about fuck you?
Yeah,
How about all of the fuck yous?
I don't know why it's like that though, because it's like the afternoon suddenly drags, and we had the pollution come through over the ocean to Bournemouth as well.
We didn't see that here.
Oh, we did. It's like, look out the window, go, look at that view, look at that view, isn't it golden? Yeah, that's all the pollution and sand. Do you want to go outside? No.
I love Channel. They're talking about Xavier Cam. As
I can kick people out of channel, remember?
no, you can't.
Fuck
No,
you.
you can't.
Red K says Xavier Cam. It's like those Animal Channel things where they attach bits of food and a camera to a stick and let some dangerous wild animal bite the food, and you see close-ups of that.
Can you give me ops?
No.
Fucker. Bring back Split. I want to kick him. And mostly my week has been filled with work. I've managed to get some more social stuff going as well, so I'm enjoying my time between
hey.
coming down and see these guys. Yes?
Hey, I've just had a thought.
Yes?
You need to book Monday, and probably Tuesday actually, the 21st and 22nd of July off work.
Why?
Because it's the radio's 10th birthday. You need to be here for it.
Ah, yes. So 22nd.
21st and 22nd, Monday and Tuesday.
All right, yeah. Okay, I
Book
see
them
it.
off.
That's feasible.
Good.
That's feasible.
Make sure you do it.
I will have to double check what the schedule is, availability is like. Because I work in a place where it's a case of availability. Yay!
I work in a place where there's no camera. Oh, sorry, no camera. Fuck Channel. There is no time off work now until September. Have fun with that.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
It's all been booked off already.
I can't believe that. I mean, I know it was bad when I was working in Asda and you had to try and stuff around, but it was literally a case of, look, I have not got any holiday booked for 3 months. I want that holiday in this week. You will work with me on this. And they go, damn it.
We can get like extra people off at a time approved, but it has to be approved by managers and stuff, and it gets complicated.
Yeah, that's a bunch of dicks.
I I don't really have that problem too much. When we have time off, basically there has to be enough people to cover that person, but then everybody has set covers for different, because I do tobacco and shit and shipping. So we have to cover certain markets. Like when one of my people go off, I cover like a certain amount of countries for them. But generally we have the largest team, ours, so it's not too bad. We could have 2 people off just about
And get away with it.
and get away with it, yeah.
Whereas we have 5 people off, and all hell breaks loose. 5 is the maximum. And there's always a couple off with illness as well.
Oh,
And then everything just gets fucked.
yeah, there's a woman on our team who's always off on a Wednesday because she's like maternity leave or some sort of shit. I mean, like she has a kid, but he's like young. So that's kind of annoying because I have to look after her, all of her stuff at the moment, because the other guy is new, who started at the same time as me, but he's not as good as me.
Yeah.
Don't you just love that?
Yeah, I actually seem to be, well, I don't know if I'm impressing people or pissing them off, because I just do my work and then have nothing to do, and then try to be proactive and find stuff to do. Then there's nothing to do though, and so I'm sat there twiddling my thumbs, and they're like, "You got nothing to do?" It's like, I've done everything. I don't know what to do now because I'm asked everyone of you, and you've said no, you can't help me at the moment.
Love it.
So I'm gonna burn and crash in like a month's time when like I won't be as awesome.
Well, just set yourself up so that you make sure that when the work comes in, you can still deal with it in a very regular and quickly clearing way.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah.
A lot of my work is reactionary though, so I have to wait for people to respond to me. I have to chase up people,
Yeah.
which is a pain. When you've done all your work and you send out all these messages and you can't do anything until they get back to you, and then they don't speak to you for 2 days. I've got that at the moment.
But then that's why you make sure you keep up with the lines of communication, so that way that if you regularly are communicating on a set time each week, they get used to that, and then suddenly you get more response and feedback when you're going, well, I've got this query, can you get back to me?
Yeah.
Get back to me now, bitch.
Yeah, case management jobs, woo!
See.
Yeah, I hate case management.
Yeah, but things seem to be quite well and working now for all of us. I've managed to get a good chunk of my life sorted out, although the car's going this month. But I've managed to get a good chunk of my life sorted out, so I'm actually in a really nice position for the rest of this year, which is brilliant for me. Work's good, social life is good, because I've got these guys. I've got my lady friend, who I'm currently seeing.
Lady friend.
And so far, no issues whatsoever with where I'm living, so that's all good. And that means that aside from TK, Everyone in this room is currently being social with a certain partner. Not the same partner. I'll stress
Everyone
that.
except me.
Yeah, you don't have a special person.
Does
aside from
Alex?
Hedgie.
Okay. I went on a date on Sunday, and I have a friend.
Ah.
I have choice. Fuck you.
He has choice. He's gone on a date, and he's saying he has choice. Yeah, you have the choice for date 2.
Or to blow him off. I don't mean suck. I mean ignore.
That's the wording.
So
well,
I've been conspicuously avoiding
Falling
all the
asleep.
Falling
conversations
asleep.
thus far.
Well,
Falling asleep.
when you look as good as me in this mask, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean...
Even Felix can't resist.
Yeah, the look on Felix's face.
Werewolf, he's making points in chat.
Oh, he's
Where's
a
fire?
fire.
Oh, my fire went out.
Don't put a light thing next to his face. He will go up in flame.
Yeah, that's only spandex, you know.
Yeah, he
Ah.
will go up in flame.
It's quite inflammable.
Flammable.
Inflammable, the best thing.
So-
thing.
Tell me, do you like Ghost Rider?
No, it's a shit film.
Hey,
How about Doctor Strange? You want to be Dormammu for a little while?
yeah, that'll be the best 1 minute of my life.
And then afterwards, we could set you up a Skeletor.
Or Scorpion from Mortal
Yeah.
Say! Yeah, God damn it! Hey, man!
What?
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Stuff happens. So, yeah, this is TigerTails Radio. You are joining us live
Yep.
for Season 8, Episode 3. You can find
your
us
sins.
on tigertailsradio.co.uk or tigertails.co.uk. You can also find all of our related sites, including TigerTails Gaming, the Facebook page, the Twitter page, the YouTube channel if you're not already on there.
And if you've been looking at the website and wondering why it's not been updated since the pre-season test
That's 'cause
shows,
TK's lazy.
I'm having technical difficulties. Bear with
Yeah,
us.
I suddenly looked at my YouTube feed. It's like, oh my god, all these videos updated 5 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, the videos are coming up on time. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can schedule those.
Oh no, they just pop up when the show's finished. They do
That too.
They do it automatically.
Yeah.
Then YouTube sorts that shit out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so appreciative of YouTube for sorting that shit out.
Google's managed to work a whole lot of shit that works well. It's just WordPress.
Well, WordPress. Oh yeah. Well, that'd be nice if that auto updated, but it doesn't. So I'm stuck with that. What would actually be awesome if I could get like a feed of the show automatically put onto WordPress, but I don't know if that's compatible either. That would actually be quite awesome. I wonder if there's a thing that can do that.
Probably if you look for it, but I want to see if Google can do something that actually has that functionality for our kind of sites. I just don't know what it is.
I like WordPress.
Yeah.
And Pete, you need to update the Done and Dusted blog at some point.
Yes.
As do I, as does everyone else, really.
Yes, Done and Dusted, which will be coming back because I've got a backlog of stuff to go through. Currently, though, I've now hit the Sherlock Let's Watch All 3 Seasons binge.
Binge-a-thon
Yep.
on DVD.
Yeah,
All that
TK,
standard definition.
TK crying about HD and standard def because he would buy the Blu-ray, and I'm like, not that fucking price. Really not.
Worth every high definition penny.
It is for Wreck-It Ralph. It is for the Marvel movies because that I'll quite happily have in HD because the CG effects I'd rather have in better quality than on standard def, where you can go look CG effect. But not for every other series, and especially not for TV series box sets because fuck that noise.
That's my only problem, really, with the movies like the Marvel series and all that. In 10 years' time, all that CG is going to look so dated.
Possibly.
So dated. And we'll sit there going, how the hell were we ever convinced by this? In the same way if we look at CG nowadays from films 10 years ago.
Oh my god, we should totally watch Lawnmower Man again.
Well, if you go back, aside from Tron, the original Tron, if you go back to the films with visual effects that weren't effects real life, there are certain ones that look goddamn awful now.
Yep.
And it's scary because these are the ones that you remember watching. It's like going back to like the Terminator movies. Jesus.
That's apparently part of why Tron 2 they decided to go with physical effects for almost everything because they were sort of going, we don't want this to age quite as badly as Tron did.
Well, the thing is, I don't think Tron aged. Tron, the original,
Tron
had
is
this
awesome.
very unique style
Yeah, I mean-
that I love the look of.
Yeah, and that
Some
was
bits did not age that well, like, the computer-generated graphics for the MCP and a few other bits.
Little bit.
But the difference is that they weren't kind of generated on the... Well, I say on the fly. But they were kind of generated by computer, printed, and then animated onto the cell,
Yeah.
frame by frame, which was awesome.
Which is actually pretty good accomplishment.
Pretty damn
all in all.
badass.
And a shit long time to do it, which
Yeah.
is why.
And it was done out of
ones-
sequence.
Yeah, it's
which
like
is
those
why,
few Flash animations out there that look really nice were done with traditional animation techniques.
Yes.
Frame by frame.
Yeah, they look really nice, except
Yeah.
for the people who put way too many frames in per second. Then the animation just looks a little bit too smooth,
Yeah,
and it doesn't flow quite correctly.
the VGHS computer game sequence bits.
We were
Oh,
talking
no,
about this before
no,
the show.
They're filmed in 48 frames a second. That's different. I mean, the people are still animating in like 24, well, 12 probably, but they misjudged the amount of time it takes to do something. Put too many frames of animation in, and so everything looks just that little bit too smooth. While it's like Super Street Fighter 2. That's one of my main complaints with it. There were too many frames of animation. The animation, therefore, was too smooth and stopped looking natural. On Street
Yeah.
Fighter 2, it was a lot less frames per second in terms of character animation, fit within the same time slot, and looked a lot more natural.
I'm wondering, did people used to play loads of old SNES RPGs have this sort of conversation when they moved from 3 frames for a walking sprite to 4 or
No.
heaven forbid 5?
No, it was mostly the FMV stuff. When the FMV started coming out, people witted on more about them.
I mean, look at Harry Potter and the...
Do we have
the fifth
to?
one? What was the fifth Harry Potter
I mean,
game?
animation.
The game,
Yeah, the fifth Harry Potter film.
the
Game,
fifth Harry
book.
Potter film was the
I can't remember.
Half-Blood Prince,
No, that was the sixth. What was on before that?
Order of the Phoenix.
Listener?
That's the one.
No.
If you play the PS3 version of Order of Phoenix and look at the opening animation, it's way too many frames per second. It's 60
Was
frames.
that one of the ones where the game turned into Gears of Wands?
No.
No, that's the
Okay.
last two.
It was
Ah.
fucking, it was fucking weird looking seeing it in that kind of 60 frames per second done badly type styly. Where you then watch the same video clip on the PS2 version, where it's only running at 30 odd, and it looks so much more natural, and the camera pans so much more believably for a camera pan. And you're looking at it going, well, they seriously fucked this up on the at the time next gen consoles.
Yeah,
But they really put that poor PS2. It got so hot and slowed down so much playing that game.
yeah. Unfortunately, that did happen with a lot of horrendously overframe games.
It was not designed to play Harry Potter. Harry Potter was a huge game. How they got it to go on the PS2, I have no idea. It was really.
We'll have all of Hogwarts for you to explore, and the
Yeah.
PS2 went
And
no.
the PS2 went, please don't do that, please. We'll stream it from the disc. It'll be fine until you reach the courtyard or any outdoor scene where your PS2 will suddenly drop all the frames.
No loading times. Don't you just love that? No,
Yeah,
because
that
I have
was
to buy a new
brilliant.
PS2.
It was brilliant. I mean, it worked. There were no loading times for most of the areas. There were a few loading times where it had to go into a completely different part of the castle.
Yeah, true.
But for the most part, there weren't any loading times. It just suffered severe slowdown because everything was entirely too graphical for it. And it was just going, stop this, please, pretty please. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm on fire. Stop it. And then again, thinking of CG and how it's going to be dated, that new car film, is it Fast and Furious? No, Fast and Furious, is it?
Need for Speed.
That's the one. No CGI.
no
No green
whatsoever.
screen. It's all practical effects. I was like, fuck yeah. So the
There's a
film might
small
be shit.
irony in that coming from a video game.
I know, but the film might be shit, but at least it'll look good in 20 years' time. Yeah,
Pretty
'cause
much.
Or
everything-
the other way you go is to make very stylized graphics.
Yeah.
I look at, let's take a really big example here, Akami, or the original Borderlands.
Yes.
Actually still look pretty good by today's standards.
Well, yeah. Mind you, that the cel-shaded graphics really do help because they're much more
Yeah, they've got
simplified.
a very stylized visual style to them, which means it's hard for them to actually look dated,
But
as
then-
opposed to realistic, shooter games that they tried to make over the last decade.
Well, that's mainly because stylized actually lasts a lot longer. Because if it's unique and stylized, it doesn't date that much. If it's set in period or if it's set in a particular style, like the Unreal Engine games, all had a particular way of working. You can tell when you look back on those old games because it's like, oh my god, that's that. Or, oh my god, that's because it's like the Doom
or
engine.
later Unreal games where all the characters were stylized, but unfortunately in that Warhammer Gears of War giant shouldered space marine style.
Yeah.
Eh.
That unfortunately is a thing. But yeah, so we're kind of veering off into the realms of the video and movie industry,
As you do.
as you do.
As we do, especially.
Yeah, I think we need to wrestle the show back on track and swing back onto our first segment for the show, which is the gaming news.
Oh my god.
Now it's time for the latest gossip from the Silicon Grid. This is the gaming news.
Check out who was on cue with the jingle today.
Yeah, well, segueing from Felix mentioning Borderlands, we have Borderlands, the pre-sequel, reportedly in development at 2K Australia. Now, there's been a little bit of news coming out from...
It'll be on the moon!
Yes. Set on the moon, set as one of 4...
Is this the Telltale Games one?
No.
I'm not... No, it's 2K Australia. Set on the moon, set on one of 4 of the... people hired by Handsome Jack, including Wilhelm, to find alien artifacts and other things, and also actually go into the the space station that orbits Pandora. It's not a lot of information, and they've not mentioned anything about the aforementioned other one that Felix said about as well.
Which one?
The Telltale Games.
Telltale Games, that's the one. The characters they're apparently reporting as being able to play is Athena the Gladiator, Wilhelm the Enforcer, Nisha the Lawbringer, and Frag Trap, a militarized claptrap.
Why don't we have, what's her face? Sheriff Lynchwood.
No idea, I don't know.
Because she'd make a good character for the prequel.
Possibly.
Yeah, Handsome Jack's wife.
Yeah, or girlfriend or whatever.
No, definitely wife. They mention it.
But they're saying Athena's going to be the melee focused with a kinetic shield and plasma sword, so okay, Soul Calibur. Wilhelm is going to be shoulder mounted cannons and drones.
Yeah, but don't choose him if he's going to be anywhere near as weak as he was in the game.
Weak, yeah.
Oh god, they built him up so much.
Yeah. Jetpacks to traverse environments, and the use of oxygen as well, because you're not in an oxygen environment. You're going to be having to get oxygen kits in order to survive. 2 new weapon types are also set to be introduced. Laser weapons will be joined by the cryo class of guns, which apparently will enable players to freeze and shatter enemies. They're saying they're going to announce the next gen project later this year, although Pitchford has come out saying no comment. We're just going to see, and there's going to be no Borderlands 3 as yet. So it'll be interesting to see, because we had in December the Telltale Games being the episodic Tales of the Borderlands coming out, which we've yet to have any proper news on. I'm liking this. I'm liking the large amount of stuff coming
Telltale
out.
Games. The number of bad games they've had is
Recently.
far outweighed by all of the good games.
Pretty much.
Recently, yes. They're on a roll.
They are on a roll with their most recent games.
I feel like there's a pun there that I was meant to be getting. Just by the way you're looking at me now.
Well, there was no pun.
Alright then.
Moving around the table, any further news from the studio?
Yes, there
let's
is.
see.
I have the news. I'm going to take it before anyone else comes up with it, because everybody must have heard about this one.
Oh yeah, the very quickly Xbox One sign-in exploit.
Yes.
That 5-year-old accidentally found
A
out.
5-year-old
saw
found
that.
out how to hack into someone's Xbox Live account.
His dad's.
Yes, he was just messing around on this Xbox and trying to get into his dad's account. I was like, yeah, said young Christoph Van Hassel. That's a weird name. Christoph's father, Robert Davis, noticed soon after Christmas that his son was logging into his account. and
Wait.
playing
Is he
games.
adopted? Because, the kid has got the awesome name of Christopher Von Hassel. And his dad is Robert Davies.
Robert Davies. He might be adopted.
I think he is.
I hope he is. But yes. He's playing games of what appropriate for his age. And he's a 5-year-old. Probably most games aren't appropriate for his age.
Yeah,
nowadays.
pretty much.
When
Barbie's
asked,
sex adventure.
when he asked how, Christoph showed him a hack that seems simple in retrospect, but it's fairly impressive considering a 5-year-old found it. He would go into the account, type an incorrect password, which would take him to a passwords verification screen, where he would simply tap the spacebar repeatedly, then press enter. And that's how you got into anyone's Xbox Live account ever.
Had they actually proven that?
Yep, and patched it now.
And
Yeah.
they patched it.
They
and
patched it really quickly.
Of course, they gave the kid the standard thank you package for finding an exploit.
Thank you. Here's games.
Here's some
his money.
games, some money,
Subscription.
and Xbox Gold.
He's they've even included his name, Christoph von
Oh yeah, there's
Hassel.
a Microsoft page that's
Yeah.
just basically a random, hey, thank you for exploiting the fuck out of our software and telling us about it.
It's a list of security researchers. Basically, anybody who found an exploit or something like that in any Microsoft product ever. That's Windows and Xbox or
Yeah,
like.
just as you were reading this article, your Activate Windows Now message came up. Try filling it with spaces! Do it!
No.
Do it! Do it!
Although I will say that's probably the best thing you could chuck on your CV, because it's a case of, I found an exploit on the Xbox One Live when I was 5.
I'm pretty sure CVs will be redundant by then, and we will all be classed into groups.
You wish.
So, Amazon has been in the news for a bit.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
So
fuck.
And we
we're
have the
talking
new
about
Amazon Fire TV streaming set-top box that came out on Wednesday.
And
TV streaming
micro games
and
console, yes.
Well, we've already got Minecraft on it. Yay.
already. Well, to be honest,
Now,
one
here's
hasn't
for the
got
bad
Minecraft.
bits. Maybe Amazon, when they were selling Fire TV, might have wanted to check that the firetv.com website was available, instead of it being taken by a porn site.
Or
Yeah.
maybe that was deliberate.
Yeah, you reckon.
I see. It's all a ploy.
But it does mean that we now got the Amazon Fire TV and the Apple TV. We don't have it, but Roku is existing.
Also, Fire TV is buffering. Going to be using the buffering Real Player Cloud. Who knew that Real Player still fucking existed?
Real Player does exist. I pissed around with it in university, but
Yes.
then got bored.
20 years ago.
Well, I remember when half of the
Give Pete some credit, at least 30.
I remember when half
50.
of the anime websites had to use the Real Player codec just because it was tiny and shitty quality.
But it lets you download them.
Yeah. I used to have a whole series in RMVB format.
Yeah, that was the
And
standard.
then I'd play them in fucking VLC.
That was actually the standard back then.
Do you know what's even funnier? BBC iPlayer uses the RMTP protocol as well.
What?
Yeah. Bet you didn't know that. BBC
Didn't know
iPlayer,
what, sorry?
BBC iPlayer streams in the RMTP protocol. That's right, the real media protocol.
Dear God. Which is
what
a
else
pain
is
in the
there?
ass to actually use and program with, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Happy 50th birthday to the first IBM mainframes.
Oh, happy birthday, mainframes.
Now
Some
turn
of
them
which
off and
still
on again.
run.
Yeah, some of them do.
Yes, apparently mainframes are still in use nowadays.
Yes, they are.
Simply because they are good at number crunching small things.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many things actually have to interface with a mainframe these days.
Yeah, I didn't even know until I read the article.
Traffic systems, telephone systems, police system.
A lot of accountancy and financial
And also,
systems.
in
Yay.
time for the anniversary of Tetris.
So,
Is it an
Tetris as
Tetris?
well.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, 1984.
Wow.
Wow, there's a date that chimes in with me in my head for some reason.
Yeah, there's a book.
And
may
we've
have read
now
it
had Tetris being played on another skyscraper.
Oh, God.
It's awesome. I love those.
Can they do something?
On the center, on the side of the 29-story Sierra Center in downtown Philadelphia.
But who was playing?
Sam Robinson, amongst
Who?
many other people.
Who?
Hmm?
Who?
It's a guy who's done this before. It's because it's Philadelphia Tech Week or Philly Tech Week.
Philly
So-
Tech Week.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with I Like Horses.
No.
Shame.
But yeah, they decided to celebrate the upcoming 30th anniversary of Tetris, seeing as it was a game revered as the epitome of elegance and simplicity.
And made in Russia.
Russia.
Now, the same professor that said that actually already holds the Guinness World Record for the world's largest architectural video game display when he played Pong on the side of the Sierra Center last year.
Yeah.
So he's probably already got the next Guinness World Record because he played Tetris on the north and east sides of the building simultaneously.
Now all he needs to do is go from handheld gaming to major console gaming and go, right, we're going to play Sonic on a building.
Oh, boy.
Moving on, Xbox original TV programming is to debut in June. They're revealing multiple shows in production, all featuring interactive components. So this is the original TV program for the Xbox One and 360, with the first show starting in June. The launch of street football reality show Every Street United is being timed to coincide with the World Cup, which means all the fucking football in the world. LA-based Xbox Entertainment Studios is heading up Microsoft's original TV production and has over a dozen projects in development. They include a comedy sketch show with Sarah Silverman, another with Michael Cera's Jash Comedy Collective, and stop-motion show with Seth Green's Stupid Buddy Studios. So, possibly more Robot Chicken. A live broadcast of July's Bonnaroo Music Festival is also planned. So a lot of this means nothing to me, really. On Monday, UK TV station Channel 4 and Xbox Entertainment Studios announced a co-production deal for thriller series called Humans, which focuses on humanoid robot workers. I've heard a couple of bits on this. Based on Swedish sci-fi drama Real Humans, it will share a 2015 broadcast window on both Channel 4 in the UK and Xbox in North America. So we'll get to see it anyway. Woo! Let's see. They're aiming at the core demographic, typically males between 18 to 34, and Microsoft is only approving productions that can be combined with interactive components that encourage users to engage across consoles and mobile devices. We'll see how that goes. Apparently, with every Street United, users will be able to play mini-games and unlock extra scenes, while Humans will enable watchers to follow characters outside of the show's plot, which actually is one thing I would be interested in seeing in TV series.
Can you imagine that with something like EastEnders?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
You would be able to follow the person who did the murder.
Yeah. You could just be following somebody and they could murder someone and you could know the answer and go, shit! But then would you tell everyone? Would you ruin it for everyone else?
Well,
you
no,
would. Yeah, we know you would be.
You could follow it as the eyes of the person who gets killed. You could follow it as all the friends.
Well, he wouldn't get very far as the guy who got killed. Oh, shit, I'm dead.
Yes.
Show over. Go watch something else.
Now, Phil Spencer, who's been recently promoted to the head of Xbox, said TV, as the highest reach form of entertainment you can find, is a critical part of attracting customers to Microsoft. And before people jump on the hating bandwagon, it is, because we've seen it with House of Cards for Netflix and Sony doing exactly the same thing. They're also working on an original TV production for PlayStation Network users, Sony. Its first show will be based on Powers, which was mentioned before, and created by Bendis and Michael Omen. The source material follows homicide detectives Christian Walker and Dina Pilgrim, who are tasked with investigating cases with superhuman or supernatural abilities. So it really is looking like there's going to be a mass load of TV stuff coming through, which is going to be interesting because these aren't known TV providers. But they're the people who are likely to greenlight TV shows that aren't necessarily going to be greenlit by the cable companies and by the TV companies. Because whilst BBC has had some cracking stuff, Musketeers especially, not all of it is anywhere near the quality that I would like to honestly watch, as in the demographic. Admittedly, I'm not too fussed on the interactive side of things, because we have seen some of this in the past with certain interactive kind of shows. Hasn't worked out brilliantly. But then I suppose in this generation, the idea of having something a bit more interactive where you could delve into the shows or the backgrounds or even explore the actual scenery. Say, for example, Game of Thrones, where you could actually go into, even if it's just a simple first-person game, and examine and explore the places in Game of Thrones. That would be taken up immensely by people. Comments from the cheap seats.
Sorry, no, I was distracted by another random piece of news. Has anybody else been having quite a few people have been having transactions on a company called Supercell on Google lately?
No.
Unauthorized transactions?
No.
Of £69?
No.
Plenty of people have. But my mother called me about it this morning.
Okay.
Because she's lost over 140 quid from things that she didn't know she'd ordered, but hadn't ordered.
How?
I just logged into Google Mail myself and just saw a receipt from Google Play Supercell. It was £69.99.
Anyone ordered food?
Edgy, probably.
Somebody's got to get up and get that.
Wow, looks like it's up to Xavier to
Oh,
save
Christ.
the day.
I'll do it.
How on earth do you
Run,
get
ticker!
this Supercell stuff?
I'm
What
not
do you
entirely
even
sure.
do?
Yeah. It's been a recent thing during the last couple of months. Loads of people have suddenly been called by their banks or noticed that they've had transactions they had no knowledge of from a company called Google Play Supercell, who run Happy Farm, notably.
So basically, if you play those sorts
I haven't
of...
even played that sort of game.
I've fortunately never had anything
So-
like that, so...
Random alert for everybody else out there.
Yeah, the only stuff I get thrown at me is billing from Microsoft, because they went from points to money.
Yes, and you got your
I
points
completely missed that. What was going on?
Apparently, people are getting scammed.
Not scammed. Whoa, what happened to the camera? Sorry, I just feel like we're on an episode of Poseidon Adventure now.
Have I knocked the camera?
Yeah. Don't worry, it's fun.
That's a jaunty angle.
There.
I would move
Bring out
and
the
move
correct
it.
angle. Ow. Ow. But yeah, basically,
I really wish that Pete would stop touching things.
I
my
thought
God.
it was the main.
Can I just say that Pete has the touch of a rapist?
TK, USB device not recognized, and suddenly I've lost a bit of sound in my ear.
No, I haven't.
Can we hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm suddenly a lot quieter in my earphones.
I don't even.
yeah,
There's my
that's-
mic. Yeah.
So,
Crashing.
completely unnecessary to do. Virtual assistant for Windows Phone handsets.
Why?
They want a competition for things like Siri and the Google Now. And
Cortana.
they've released a voice control app named Cortana. Thank you for fucking saying it before I did. You piece of shit. Why don't you go touch that bottle so you break it and you can't drink anything else?
I'm just slightly disturbed that they've developed this piece of software based on the idea of
Especially
Cortana
with
from
the
Halo.
law, given that, rampancy.
Well, especially when you look at what it's supposedly doing. It will actually listen and learn. It will look through all your... It's bad enough when you click on the let's look through back your history and figure out what's going to be needed for my predictive text, which, to be honest, for me is fantastic. But for this thing, it will look back across all of your history, so it will have context.
I'm wondering if she'll actually, bring up Paperclip as well. Looks like you're trying to go off the grid to avoid the NSA. Would you like help?
If it did
Sorry,
that...
I'm looking up
then-
the terms of service for this super stealth thing. They actually now have a page they go, if there are unintentional, unauthorized purchases on your account, non-refundable. We cannot undo or change a purchase that already been made, and we will not consider refund requests.
Which is illegal.
What? Yeah.
We'll see how that happens and how that works. But the new Microsoft thing is interesting. I'm not sure if I care, though, because...
It uses Bing search engine. It's interesting what they're trying to do with it, but it does use Bing search engine.
Yeah, but I don't even use the Microsoft Now.
Microsoft Now is pretty nice. It's good. Voice recognition software and AI software is amazing nowadays compared to what it was 2-3 years ago.
Oh god, yeah. Especially if you're any way interested in like the idea of the artificial intelligence chatbots. This was something that a group of my university guys did when I was going through university. So they were going, we can make a bot that can chat to you, and it's like fantastic.
Yeah, it's called Cleverbot.
Yeah, and then you start talking to it, and it's a case of, I don't understand what you mean. Do you mean this?
It's pretty much the exact same thing as all of the virtual psychiatrist programs from the fucking 80s onwards.
Yeah. But the thing that Microsoft are pushing about this thing is that they say Siri and Google Now have a limited ability to extract the actual meaning from the words that somebody speaks, explained Professor Steve Young, Professor of Information Engineering at the University of Cambridge. So, if you ask things that Siri, for example, knows about, like restaurants or baseball games, it works pretty well. So basically anything you could Google. But if you ask it about something that's not been previously programmed to understand, it simply passes the word into the search engine. I understand that for Cortana, Microsoft has done a lot of work to automatically learn a much wider range of semantics. So the expectation is that it will be able to understand a good deal more. So they're trying to make it more like an actual AI rather than just a thing that has pre-programmed responses and, Google.
Which will actually be useful, because if you can go, right, I'm looking for a new shirt, and it recognises that you buy shirts from this kind of stealer and this kind of thing, and is able to cross-reference it and go here. That would be fantastic for someone like me, because it would be a case of, right, I'm interested in getting XYZ. Bit. I'm interested in getting XYZ. Go here. Awesome.
It's also great for the NSA because they know where you shop, and it's great for advertisers because they'll know which shirts you buy, when and how often, and know when to push sales and adverts for shirts to you.
Although the NSA will be going, block requests for updates. Block requests. Don't care if you're shopping for shoes. Fuck off. No. Turn off notifications.
It'd also be really good for practicing your Xbox One trolling.
Xbox on.
Oh no, they've actually
Xbox
found out
off.
some people can actually get it to start turning on the video services without, through the microphone. Someone's got their speakers on now.
Well,
God.
there was a case of a man having his Xbox One be turned on by a dog barking. Or was it turned off? No, it was turned off while he was playing the game.
That dog's epic. Moving on, the Atari ET landfill excavation is apparently back on track. The
We
dig-
already know that there aren't actually that many of them there.
He keeps saying this. The dig has been approved following environmental concerns. The landfill site has finally been given the go-ahead by environmental agency investigating its potential safety issues. So this is Fuel Entertainment, Xbox Entertainment, and Lightbox Entertainment, who had previously requested permission to dig up the landfill in order to make a documentary based on the much maligned 1982 Atari ET title. In March, it was reported that the excavation of the city's disused landfill had yet to be approved. Specifically, the New Mexico Environment Department voiced concern over a 2004 study of the landfill, which found elevated levels of several chemicals and claimed 22 compounds of concern, which had been found at the site. Now, however, they've approved the dig as long as there's three production companies, as long as the three companies adhere to a number of safety concerns. Firstly, they must be notified 5 working days before the excavation begins. Secondly, any company planning to haul the waste must register as a certified or commercial hauler of waste with them. And that's before they can do this. Mm-hmm. And according to urban legend, anywhere from thousands to millions of cartridges were buried out there, with at least 9 semi-trucks of Atari products said to have been dumped at the site in 1983.
Despite the numerous press releases from Atari over the years going, it's only like a couple of hundred at most,
Yeah, we'll see.
It's one of those things that keeps on popping up. We need a Snopes for this. Yeah.
We'll see if they ever get around to digging this stuff up. Any further news?
Yes. Quite a lot of people might know that the end of May, is when the last GameSpy servers will be shut down for good. Which is a problem for quite a few people who still play Halo on the PC,
Yes.
with over 10,000 unique IPs that still play.
Although, seriously, guys, why are you still playing it over GameSpy? Why?
Because it was set up with GameSpy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
And it's one of Gearbox's better... Well, Gearbox have had a solid history with porting games.
True.
They got started on the Half-Life ports for the console. And this was a console to PC port, which is fun.
Hey.
And highly customizable as well. Halo Custom Edition is still hugely downloaded.
Pretty much.
But there's an online petition from quite a lot of these players who are pleading with Microsoft to try to save the servers for the game by switching from GameSpy to something else like maybe Valve Steamworks.
Potentially this can happen because we've already seen Spartan Ops, or whatever it was, the FTS? Real-time strategy one. Move on
RTS.
to Steam. Yeah, the RTS. Move on to Steam already.
Yeah. But they don't actually need an actual game servers. They just need a master server to lock the IPs of where all the servers are. Because most of the servers are actually already independently hosted. They don't need anything dedicated.
Yeah.
They got 2,500 petitions so far. Yeah, episode petition thingies. And yes, Microsoft recently released Halo Spartan Assault via Steam.
Yeah, Spartan Assault.
And Microsoft could really do with some good publicity for their PC gamers, especially seeing as they're shutting down games for Windows Live later on this year as well.
Yay! And so many games have already migrated from that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why is there a deformed picture of... Oh my god, Pizza Balloon Face!
Yep, the leaders.
And you've been turned into a weird kitsune...
Yeah.
I can say, if
Job
you only just seen
facing.
channel, the pictures of Wolfie's been posting on
Yep.
4chan.
Yep, Wolfie is posting
And
us on
I just look
4chan.
about the same, but with more evil Street Fighter eyebrows.
Yeah, you have like
You are
Kazuma. Kazuma,
Oh my god, I am.
what's his face from Tekken?
Mishima.
Mishima. Yeah.
Dear God.
No,
More
I want to
Microsoft
see this. I
news.
still play Halo on the PC because it's actually a solidly made game.
Well, it was the game that changed the shooter
It actually is.
genre.
It's some parts for the good, some parts for worse, but basically everything it had at the time was actually fairly innovative.
Well,
We had recharging shields.
Yeah,
which means
recharging
that
shields.
If you had 1 point of health left, you weren't basically fucked each time you went past one checkpoint. You could actually have a chance of actually surviving.
Limited weapons.
Mm-hmm.
The grenade types, which actually are quite good physics. AI on the enemies, which actually worked if you played the game numerous times, because they would.
Oh,
fuck you
especially
up.
on hard.
Yeah.
Try to hit any fucking, especially a black elite on hard on the original Halo, is that they're going, stop fucking rolling!
Yeah, this is where I go, shoot grenade, shoot grenade, shoot grenade, now roll.
Meanwhile, Slippy's just sat there going, I trained them well.
Fuck you!
I honestly don't know why he even tries.
Hey, Pete Cam, do a barrel roll!
Hey, Pete, no wonder all your stuff at home doesn't work.
It's the
EA
curse
had a
of
bit
Pete.
of a small thing online with backlash over an April Fool's joke from Frostbite.
Hang on, I'm going to see if I can get the moment where the camera falls off on the stream. Again. Let's see if we can get the gigantic.
So should I go?
Fuck you!
Because obviously over the last week we've had the usual April Fools from everything, from all the games. The Frostbite 3 engine on
Fuck
Twitter.
you!
Yeah, the Frostbite account on Twitter was sat there for their April Fool's joke. They decided to start taking pot shots at the Wii U.
That's not really an April Fool's joke, is it?
It was their idea of an April Fool's joke, like, you know, Frostbite now runs on the hashtag Wii U. Since it's the most powerful Gen 4 platform, our renderer is now optimized for Mario and Zelda. Frostbite will power hashtag Half-Life 3, coming out summer 2014, Wii U exclusive. Good news, we finally fixed and optimized our netcode. Uses quantum entanglement for zero latency connections exclusively on the Wii U. And pretty much the entire internet just went, you know, guys, these aren't funny. This is just you being cruel and mean-spirited. Who the fuck are you? The PlayStation Blog EU staff? Who are also a bit of dicks on Twitter. Since then, EA has deleted all the tweets. Peter Moore has made a public apology, calling the Frostbite comments unacceptable and stupid.
Unacceptable!
Meanwhile, you know, Nintendo really should have tweeted something back like, hey guys, hashtag Battlefield 4 is actually working today.
Pete, would you like an adult to put the camera back up?
Seeing as we're talking about April Fool's stuff, I think one of my favorite things of April Fool's this year was Skullgirls and their April Fool's that they've done. Not only did they introduce something to their game, but they also took a jab at another games company, Capcom. Yes, Lab Zero Games, which is the producers of Skullgirls and creators, have added a new, quotation mark, character to Skullgirls for April Fool's Day, Fukua. A character described as a clone created by Story.
Can you repeat the name?
Fukua.
And again,
Fukua.
slowly.
Fuck you. Basically,
The name you're looking for is Fukua.
no, he's fucking with you.
No, Fukua.
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 No, that's not how you... I am the weirdo here. I know how it's said.
Says the guy in the tiger wrestler mask.
Anyway, they released this character as a April Fool's to take the piss out of Capcom, who have recently announced for Ultra Street Fighter 4, DiCaprio, who is a clone character.
Is she Canadian?
DK!
Basically, what happened
I
was...
didn't do anything.
It's great. This character is basically the Canadian who is kicked out of the country for being too crass. Because her name is Fuck You, eh?
Oh,
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bye.
Anyway, Capcom have released 5 characters in total for
Yep,
their Ultra
that's a
Street Fighter
hammer.
4, right? The 4 characters they released have all been ports from Street Fighter X Tekken. And so basically they weren't allowed, they were making a completely new character for the 5th character. They weren't allowed to port a character at all. However, they decided to take a pre-existing character model, as they usually do, and make a character out of it, who is technically a Street Fighter character that is new, but she is basically just a clone of Cammy, in a way. There's been an uproar about this simply because
point the camera at me.
when Oni Akuma and Evil Ryu came out, they were basically clones of another character. They used the same character models and certain things. They're different characters, style-wise.
different characters' style, but they were literally the same movesets and the same.
They looked
martial
the same.
arts.
That's what people were pissed about.
Yeah.
They got over it, but it happened again, and now people are like, for fuck's sake, what's the point? They're never going to introduce a character that isn't like one of the current existing characters.
Yeah.
There's always going to be, it's going to be like another Ken or another Ryu, like for example Sean from Street Fighter 3.
Sean.
Anyway, to take a jab at this, Lab Zeros created this character for an April Fool's video they did, and it's basically a clone of the main character Philia, and they put her in the game and they showed off a load of stuff. However, they didn't just say, oh look, we just done this for looks. She's actually in the game for April Fool's. You could go play her.
April Fool's Day.
Yes. You could actually go and play her, and she's basically similar, but she had different stuff to her moveset. It's like slightly different. So she's technically a different character, but she is basically a clone character. However, they did say, Bartholo, I can't fuck it, this guy is
Where is it?
Bartholo.
Yeah, Bartholo.
Yeah, he's got a weird name. He said, I
It's
think we're
basically
just going...
Bartholomew, but with an owl.
I said, I think we're just going to leave her in and watch fan reaction. So far, everybody seems to be having fun with her and wants her to stay. But we'll wait a week or so before making a final decision, just to make sure the surprise newness of the thing isn't what influences that. And we'll never charge for her. If the community wants to keep her, she'll stay in the game for free. I kind of like that. The fact that they have an April Fool's, but it's also a thing. No one can hear you, Pete.
Yeah, your microphone is no longer working, Pete.
Why don't you take the place of Pete for me?
Pete, use interpretive dance.
How are Felis? The other two... Oh, I might do this myself, yeah.
What are we doing?
I was
Come
just talking about it, but I'm waiting for your response
I went to
about
the
it.
toilet. Remember?
Oh my gosh.
The
Right
lights
after
on.
my bad joke, I went, ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, and then I actually went.
So the one
Is it-
who's been doing this the least is actually the one who seems to be trying to hold the show together. Even Pete is just breaking everything. Don't
Tearing me apart, Peter!
anything.
Power is on. There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, for the April Fool's stuff, the bit that I liked from League of Legends was literally a case of the April Fool's here's an entire game mode, which was troll the fuck.
I'm a glorious phoenix.
And everyone on LoL was going, it's April Fool's, and it was like, seriously, update your bloody installer and launcher, and look, it's there, it exists. You can literally go in and play overpowered to hell, and people were, and then the support character who just could heal for days became the most broken character in the world ever.
You mean like
This guy's
Dan
healed
did for a
damage,
couple
healed
of those games?
Hmm?
You mean like Dan became really broken for a couple of games?
What? No, we didn't.
I'm not entirely
He-
sure.
Did get slightly broken.
Well,
that
Dan
Samurai
played
Jack
well.
bit?
I think it is.
Oh my god. I've got to watch that again soon.
It's pretty good.
Moving on, Microsoft is apparently thinking
No.
about...
One does not simply move on from Samurai Jack, okay?
Yep. Microsoft is thinking about 360 emulation on the Xbox One. Partner development lead says firm is thinking things through. So,
No, totally
initially,
stick to it. Just like with the we will not rest until every Xbox game is compatible with 360.
oh dear. But basically, they are saying, he says, getting back to the news, that they're not ruling it out based on comments by Xbox partner development lead Frank Savage. And this was speaking at the San Francisco at the Microsoft Build Developers Conference. Savage replied to queries regarding whether the company had plans for 360 emulation. There are plans, but we're not done thinking them through yet. Unfortunately, it turns out to be hard to emulate the PowerPC stuff on the x86 stuff, so there's nothing to announce, but I would love to see it myself. Since the console's release last year, Microsoft has not announced firm plans for either emulation or backwards compatibility, while Sony has confirmed and is sorting out the Gaikai-powered PlayStation.
Yeah, it would be
Now
good to have
service.
some sort of backwards compatibility that's not reliant entirely on a cloud-based service.
It would be nice, and it certainly would be nice to have backwards compatibility somehow, even on the store, because the biggest frustration I had when we're playing around with Alex's PS4 is it's like, right, let's see what my downloads are like. Let's see what I can bring onto Alex's PS4. So there are games. Flower. Flow. That's it. Out of my library of stuff that I've downloaded on the PSN, on the PS3.
Yay. Sorry, Google have already come up to me and gone, oh, we're happy to issue a refund for £69.99.
Told you it was wrong. Moving on further.
I was looking it up earlier when my mum was actually phoning me and saying, oh, what is this Supercell and why do I have 140 quid missing from 2 transactions? Looked up online. Loads of people.
Yeah.
Some of them to the tune of £400 to £800.
Bad shit happening.
Is it sale or sell?
Can I just
Cell
ask?
with CELL. They do Clash of the Clans and Happy Farm on Facebook and Google Market.
What
However,
happened?
I've had no contact with this company whatsoever until I looked them up.
Although, speaking of that, there has been a big response from this thing advertising Clash. Was it Castle Clash? Suddenly advertising all over the shit with links and everything that you can click on. And I'm not entirely sure what the hell's going on with some of these advertising companies because I don't think it's actually the game maker who's doing it.
Can I just ask a question? What
Yes.
happens if they have charged you for £400 to £800? That puts you in a position where you're then charged by other people. What do you do about that?
In quite a few cases, banks are slightly better with this sort of thing these days. What happens is, for quite a lot of these transactions, I've been explained to it by Lloyd, my mother. The company made so many charges, and even though most of them declined, a couple of them slipped through, despite it being flagged suspicious by the bank. Because obviously with that many, there's bound to be one or two that just slip through whilst they're denying other ones and trying to get the money back.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they will accept the fact that it was an unauthorized transaction, and they'll very quickly give you back the money. Because if they don't, then they actually count as complicit to it.
Oh.
Much in the same way that if you try to buy expensive technology online, use a credit card. So that way, if the product is defective, you can actually get your money back by suing the credit card company. Because they're also liable.
Wow.
This is how a lot of people had to deal with Dell during the class action lawsuit way back a couple of years ago. With the whole NVIDIA default.
Maybe I should get a credit card just for that.
It's worthwhile, actually, yeah. If you use a debit card like I did, you're shit out of luck, unfortunately.
Thank God my PS4 is safe.
Sorry, I just saw another, service at PayPal. Receipt for your payment. Oh, God, that's just my humble bundle payment. That's okay.
Oh, humble.
Moving on, Smash Brothers 4 has been announced at Nintendo Direct. So new details about the Wii U and 3DS games to be revealed on April the 8th.
Wait, there's a Smash Brothers 4. Nobody knows about the daily updates for that.
They have yet to announce a Smash Bros. 4 release date, but it's been confirmed as a 2014 release window.
Yep.
Playable characters returning in the latest series include King Dedede, Luigi, oh god, Captain Olimar, Sonic, Princess Peach, and Toon Link. New characters will be making their Smash Brothers appearance as well.
Wait,
The trailer, Toon Link.
Oh,
the
Subway
trailer
Guy.
reveals Mega Man. Animal Crossing's Villager will be playable for the first time in the series, while Wii Fit Trainer was confirmed. Rosalina and Luma from Super Mario Galaxy will feature, as will Punch-Out hero Little Mac. So, they're now being confirmed for this year on 3DS and for the Wii U as well.
And they are different versions. You can't play them.
So this isn't like Monster Hunter, where it's the same version.
Well,
on
no,
both
actually,
software.
you can. I believe they're trying to get crossplay. However, there are stages unique to each platform. As there
That's
are
not the best of decisions.
3DS titles have 3DS stages, if you get what I mean. And Wii U will have Wii U stages, but they'll also have a pool of similar stages.
So basically, they're going to try to attract people to a different version of it by going, look, we're monetizing a gimmick.
Pretty much.
Come on, you want to. Buy it on both systems.
I think the interesting thing about this is that there is actually a blog or a Tumblr. It's not a Tumblr. I can't remember what it is. It's a developer's blog where Sakurai actually posts pictures twice daily about a new thing about the game, whether it's just a small tweak of a person's move or it's a big reveal like a character or a stage. So if you're actually interested in Smash Brothers at all, I would recommend following that. Every day there's an update.
Yeah.
And it will be until release, just like there was for Brawl.
Cool.
I'm trying to find it now.
Anyway, news to wrap up with so we can continue on. Anyone?
Hang on just a second.
How about you find some news?
I have my last piece of
Okay.
news.
Peaches is dead. There you go.
Yay!
So,
That's not a yay situation.
the Brandon Ike saga has finally finished online.
Who?
The Mozilla Firefox CEO.
Who?
Oh, yes. How can you not know about this?
Easily.
Captain Homophobe.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Wow.
He
That
made
I
a
recognise.
he made a donation to a group that was actively fighting against Proposition 8 back in 2008. And people have found out about this. Was it 2008 he did it? Yeah, 6 years ago was when he made the donation.
No, he donated a group to stop. What did you just say?
Proposition 8 is the allowing of gay marriage, isn't it? Or is
No,
it
it's the
Proposition
banning.
is-
Banning
Oh, right.
of gay marriage.
Right, no, he gave
Banning.
money to Proposition 8.
Right.
My
That makes
apologies,
more
everybody.
sense.
And people have found out about this. And there's been a bit of back and forth. And funnily enough, the first people to actually start a movement for this were dating website OkCupid.
Yeah, that was weird seeing that.
If you
news.
actually were using Firefox when you tried to use OkCupid, you would have had a message that popped up saying, "Hello there, Mozilla Firefox user. Pardon this interruption of your OkCupid experience. Mozilla's new CEO, Brandon Ike, is an opponent of equal rights for gay couples. We would therefore prefer that our users not use Mozilla software to access OkCupid."
Haha.
It's like it's a small but classy thing.
Yep.
They also went on to do,
Feel free to download Chrome.
yeah, politics is normally not the business of a website, and we all know there's a lot more wrong with the world than misguided CEOs. So you might wonder why we're asserting ourselves today. This is why. We've devoted the last 10 years to bringing people, all people, together. If individuals like Mr. Ike had their way, then roughly 8% of the relationships we've worked so hard to bring about would be illegal. Equality for gay relationships is personally important to many of us here at OkCupid, but it's professionally important to the entire company. So, yeah.
Go then.
I like that. OkCupid is for creating love. Those who seek to deny love and instead enforce misery, shame, and frustration are our enemies, and we wish them nothing but failure.
They are enemies to love.
That was a classy put down at the end of that, though, wasn't it?
Enemies.
You're an enemy of love.
You know the rules.
So do
the best
I.
bit is it was literally across like BBC News and everything.
Yeah,
else.
quite
It
a
was
few
like,
activist developers, like one of the creators of Java,
Java,
started
Java,
boycotting
Java,
it.
God, fuck Java.
Yeah, fuck Java. In a completely homosexual way as well.
Yeah.
Java. Right, is that
And
it?
no, following all of this, after this whole movement started to gain steam, Brandon Ike stepped down. He resigned.
Sorry, I've related. I've seen channel. Red Cave's gone, no. Where'd the Master Avenger has gone? He is defaced.
Literally.
Face off.
Yeah, according to Brandon Ike, I've decided to resign as CEO effective today and leave Mozilla. Our mission is bigger than any one of us, and under the present circumstances, I cannot be an effective leader. I'll be taking time to, before I decide what to do next.
Yeah.
There's actually more about the Mozilla company itself said, there we go. In a statement following this, Executive Chairwoman Mitchell Baker said, Mozilla prides itself on being held to a different standard, and this past week we did not live up to it. We know why people are hurt and angry, and they're right. It's because we haven't stayed true to ourselves. Brandon has chosen to step down from his role as CEO. He's made the decision for Mozilla and our community. We believe in equality and freedom of speech, and equality is necessary for meaningful speech. Figuring out how to stand up for both at the same time can be hard. Yay.
Yay. Right, is that it in terms of
There
everyone
is,
else?
there is a saying
Yeah.
that really ought to go with that.
Yes.
It's, I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right,
Right
to
to
say
say
it.
it. Yes.
A lot of people forget that in this kind of new, oh, how dare you say such a thing age.
Pretty much.
It's like, yeah, his views might be outdated and horrific, but he's
On the
still
other
got the
hand-
right to express them.
He's got the right. It was the same time though. He was sort of a case of, these are my personal views, and I will not enforce them on the company at large.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes me kind of conflicted about this, because he seems like misguided but an okay person. I mean, for example, February, March, last month, before all this kicked off, he actually stated, there are whispers about my commitment to fostering equality and welcome for LGBT individuals at Mozilla. He said, to lay those concerns to rest, I've made a set of commitments to you, the company, in which we are emphasizing equal health benefits to all domestic partners across the country. So at the same time, he was sat there going, we're going to make sure that just because you're gay, you're still getting the exact same benefit packages and everything else that anybody else would get for
Unless
working
you're
for
gay and foreign, in which case forget it.
Oh, yeah, fuck those guys.
Anyway, to wrap up the gaming news,
In a hetero way.
VR will change the world, says Epic's Tim Sweeney. So this is the Unreal
Yay, Tim Sweeney!
Engine boss
I got his very first game ever.
who compares current VR to first-gen iPhones. I'm not entirely sure if that's a good comparison. Epic's Games founder Tim Sweeney...
They're weird, heavy, and give you headaches.
Yes. believes virtual reality will be a bigger phenomenon than smartphones. They've conducted a significant amount of research on how best to use virtual reality in games, and they've already produced several tech demos using Oculus Rift. It's technology I think will completely change the world, Sweeney said. I think it's going to be a bigger phenomenon for smartphones. You have to put it in perspective and realise we're in maybe the first generation iPhone stage right now, where you have this really cool device, but it has some flaws that prevents it from being a pervasive device for everyone. There might be an audience for 10 million users of the current tech, but as it improves with each generation, the audience is going to keep growing until eventually you're going to reach a critical point where you can put on one of these devices and have an experience that is effectively indistinguishable from reality.
I think the only way we're going to get to that stage is when we've got complete freedom of movement while wearing it.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen for a while.
No.
That's something that I personally wouldn't choose.
This is what I want to throw open to the floor and any of our listeners who wants to chuck in comments onto our websites and that. With the VR surge that's happening, what is everyone's feelings towards it? Because I remember the day of having the clunky-ass headset that weighed a couple of pounds that you had to chuck on your head, and the little barrier that was in the arcade that stopped you from clonking people in the face with the joysticks that you were waving around in your hands.
Sony have tried the VR headset thing in the past.
Yeah.
Well,
It didn't work out well for them before, because this was a hilariously overpriced piece of tech.
And who
You
says
remember,
the Morpheus
Sony have been
isn't
selling
gonna be
the head-mounted display unit for years now for nearly $1,000, and it's about 740p in each eye, with horrible latency and very uncomfortable to wear.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, we're now looking at lighter devices. We're now looking at better
Yeah.
screens. Do you think it's going to be worthwhile as an entertainment device, not just as gaming, for entertainment?
Yeah.
All right. Why
And
do you think?
provided we can actually get the infrastructure there for more people to share the experience. I mean, by yourself, you just sat there in a room with a unit on, and it's a very antisocial thing.
Welcome to gaming, folks.
However, there was one of the first programs to use for the Oculus Rift was a cinema to play your movies in. But it's actually an entire empty auditorium that you can look around and walk in, and it's got the screen. Imagine if you could actually do that and actually get a few friends together to watch a movie from all over the world in a virtual cinema.
Trouble is, you'd all be in your own empty virtual cinema. They need to do it so
they're
you're
sat
all
there
linked
thinking-
in the same cinema.
Yeah,
That's when it would start getting good.
this is what they were saying. The next step is try to see if we can get more people into it. But then also that also runs into the whole copyright infringement things, which is a whole grey area. Because technically you'd be broadcasting copyrighted into.
Oh no, because the way it would work is everyone would have their own copy of the Blu-ray, say for instance, plugged into their either PS4 or PC, what the fuck ever,
Yep.
and you'd all run a piece of code to that, basically the virtual cinema program that would start everybody's film at the same time.
Which would be good.
Yeah.
That way you could sit down and all watch it together, but watching your own local copy,
It is.
that would
Or-
get around the copyright infringement bit.
As much as I'm loath to bring it up, imagine Second Life with this sort of thing.
Well, that's what I was going to go into next.
That had become an even more LSD-fueled cornucopia of what the fuckery than it already is.
Well, I don't know
all those
because
giant penises in
Yeah.
your face!
I don't know about Second
I was a mecha
Life.
penis in that once.
I don't know about Second Life, but I'm thinking maybe something like a combination of what you see with like the hub worlds for the karting game, Little Big Planet karting game.
Little Planet Karting?
No, not the Little Big, the other one.
Modern
Nation Racers.
Yeah.
And the idea of what home kind of is, but having it as actually you can interact, you can wander around, and then you can
Well,
bunch up and go off onto a game
What
or
I'd like
a
to see as well
film.
is an algorithm for, say, the Oculus Rift to actually resort older games, legacy games, so that
Yeah.
they can be viewed properly on it. Because otherwise, you're missing out on a whole. But quite a lot of people would sit there and go, "But I want to play some of my older games on this. I don't care if they're not fully 3D. I just want the giant screen in my eye faces."
Like Baldur's Gate, the original,
Yes.
not enhanced edition.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And there are people that have already done that. There are several third-party programs which will, on the fly, convert, say, Fallout or Minecraft into a Oculus-compatible stream.
Well, it's not technically all that difficult because you can do it with video at the moment, and it's just basically
Yes, but
replicate the previous frame for the other eye.
it is, and curving as well is the other problem.
I suppose it's
Because the lenses
different.
themselves are curved. The display
Yeah.
is curved, which means you have to sort out everything so that it actually display properly on there.
Well, I think this is something that we're going to look back on anyway, because we're
It's something
undoubtedly
that,
going to see new stuff.
I was going to buy we'll save up to buy the Dev Kit 2. But seeing as the consumer version 1 is just around the corner, I might actually be picking up one of the Oculus Rifts.
Ah.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Facebook Oculus Rift.
If you're interested
It's not going to be a
in...
problem in the end, really.
No. If you're interested in seeing or commenting on this, I've chucked a question on the Facebook site. It'll also appear in our Twitter feeds. Go to our Facebook site at facebook.com/TigerTailsRadio, or follow us via tigertailsradio.co.uk or tigertails.co.uk and find our links. And chuck in some answers to this in terms of the question for our listeners. Do you think VR is a good thing and why? I would be interested to see what everyone else's opinion, because I remember the clunky headsets, I remember the dreams from Lawnmower Man and Tron and all the ideals of being able to go into a computer-generated world. Are we seeing that now? Do we see this as an improvement for gaming and for entertainment as a whole?
I don't see it as an improvement. I see it as an extra little place where people can go to do new and innovative things.
Well,
Your
we're
2D
gonna see.
displays aren't going to be replaced. I don't think it's going to replace them anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's a
But I
sidestep.
see it as something kind of awesome that people can actually push a few more boundaries in.
Well, it's a start, and we'll see what
I told you guys
comes.
about me playing Minecraft for an
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes.
And that was actually quite a fun experience, but I also still kind of like playing it on this screen.
But anyway, that's out there for our listeners to answer. We'll probably come back to this during this season. Moving on, we need to get to Done and Dusted.
Oh my.
It's that time where the cast of Tiger Tales Radio review stuff badly. This is Done and Dusted.
Yes, so this is Done and Dusted. This is where we review, for your listening pleasure or viewing, things that we've watched, read, eaten, seen, heard, whatever, and give you our thoughts on whether or not we liked it and whether or not we recommend it to you, our lovely listeners / viewers. So, in the studio, do we have anyone who's done anything for Done and Dusted?
I've done loads of things. I'll just can't remember what I've previously reviewed.
I have
Notes.
stopped Feelers from saying anything. This is brilliant, as I'm going to make this my mission.
Spandex Penguin Hard-On should be my new death metal band.
What
It's all I
are
can think
you
of as I see this
reviewing?
picture. Okay, so what is he viewing?
No, reviewing for
God,
Done and
honestly.
Dusted.
Yeah, what
Done
are
and
you
Dusted.
reviewing? What are you reviewing?
Done and Dusted?
Well, he can think about
This
his
thing we do every week for at least 3 or 4 seasons now.
Well, I could review something, I suppose.
What are you going to review, Alex?
A PlayStation 4.
How did I know?
Oh, well, I'm not letting you do that. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to
Felis.
take the easy way out.
Felis, what have you got?
I haven't really got anything.
A headache.
I haven't done anything new. I haven't done really played anything or watched anything this weekend.
TK.
I did PlayStation Battle Royale last week, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Although I can bring up a couple of Kickstarters, which will be fun.
What?
Cool.
What was the other game I played recently? Aside from Final Fantasy X HD, but then all I've done is play Blitzball. I've got up to the shoe puff. I've got that far. But yeah.
Puffs, you're going!
Final Fantasy X HD. Well, we'll get a few comments from
Oh,
that.
God then.
I have Symphony
Yeah, that was
of the humble indie bundle music.
Oh, what was
dance
the other
edition.
game on that? Because that was fucking awesome.
Sequence and Bit Trip Runner.
Sequence, that DDR clone.
Yes.
That was quite
Yeah.
awesome fun.
Do you want to talk about that one instead?
I haven't played enough of that really to form an overall
Okay.
opinion, but I'll give it a quick mention as well.
Okay, we'll mention it and then we'll come back to that next week. So, who wants to go first? Alex, do you want to go first? Because we'll probably chip in a little bit about the PS4.
Yes, because mine's also the easiest, and because you guys are lazy. Not that I'm not lazy, seeing as I'm choosing something quite generic. But anywho, PlayStation 4.
It's shiny.
Yes, we.
We're talking about the actual plastic here, not the actual console. Just the plastic. It's shiny. But
I
there's
just-
matte bits.
I decided to order a PlayStation 4 simply
Because, 400 quid was burning a hole in his pocket.
It's 320 actually, so
Oh, is that including shipping?
that did include shipping.
Oh, that's not bad then.
It's just the base model I brought. No games with it, but then I've got indie games and games borrowed from others, and I
And you can access all of our PSN accounts.
do that as well because
Not quite.
PS4. I also got Assassin's Creed for it because
The Black Flag.
Yeah, I had a voucher, Kex, CEX, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, I decided to buy it. Simply
Come on,
because
man. You can just say the
everybody
word
else-
sex.
Well, how
right?
was
We're all adults here.
How was the initial install and setup? Because that's the first thing that I want to know about as a consumer. How was it getting it set up and started?
It was quite,
Really painless.
yeah, it was really quick. It was just a basic, okay, enter your details. Oh, what's your PSN account? Okay, whoop, all this information. There you go, already done.
Oh, I need an update. It's downloaded already.
Yep.
I'm just going to reboot now. You okay with that?
I
Yeah.
blame Fiber for that.
Yeah, that we didn't like download it really quickly because of fiber, but it just downloaded it and then it said, okay, I'm going to install it now. Is that okay? And what I have liked about it is that the menu is seamless. Like, it's an upgrade from the XMB. XMB had its problems, but they've actually improved on that. It's now a lot more fluid XMB.
I liked the XMB.
Oh,
I miss the XMB.
It's different. It's more layered,
No,
but it takes a
XMB
bit of work to get.
the XMB took a while to get to certain parts of it. You actually had to scroll and scroll. It worked, but it was clunky.
It was clunky, and
it
this
wasn't
this one's
perfect,
different.
but I really liked it.
Yeah.
And they've improved on that. I don't know how you can't like that. And it's
I don't like all the big pictures.
The big
That's-
buttons.
you're
for
not
special
looking at the
people.
big picture.
It's like it feels like it's gone all not as bad as Xbox One in Windows 80, but there's still too many big graphics going. Look at all the screen I take up, and it's like, yeah, but I don't want you to take up all of my screen. I like
Ergonomics,
having
elegance.
the little icons.
Yeah, elegance.
Yeah, it now just looks cluttered and messy. Whereas before, you had all your icons in a similar style. You could see a desktop picture if you chose to put one on, and it just looked unified and nicer.
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
They're looking at pictures.
Sorry, suddenly out of nowhere, there's been another Wolfie thing where Alex now looks like a Lucha Libre xenomorph. Pete looks like he's going easy breezy cover hair.
And you've turned
And I
into
suddenly
Sephiroth.
have an 80s thing with my head going on.
Like a mastermind.
Like a giant pom.
And Studio's fat.
And Studio is... no, I think there's a hole to the beige dimension.
Winnie the Pooh, baby.
It kind of looks like it's sort of somewhere behind him.
Dear God.
But yes, going into other parts of the menus now, whereas on the PlayStation 3 it seemed like a bit of a chore, especially when you wanted to do something like check your messages.
Or
And it
go
took
to the
forever.
PlayStation Store.
Or every time you brought up the virtual keyboard, it seemed to take a little while to think about it. Nowadays, the PlayStation 4, it has the RAM to do that easily. Like it should have been able to.
The phrase "on the fly" now actually means "on the fly."
On the fly.
As opposed to you can do it on the fly-ish, but it has to think about it for a second.
We accessed
Yeah.
the store, and it
loaded.
confirmed my suspicions that the store was designed for the PlayStation 4, but they just decided to tack it on for the PlayStation 3. It had no problems loading up anything at all. I didn't have to wait 50 years.
And you can't blame Fiber for that because it still loads like a slug on the PS3.
And,
even with
and the
Fiber.
Vita, have you tried loading up the store on the Vita sometimes?
It's still faster on the Vita than it is on the PS3.
It is, but it still sometimes hangs on the loading screen for
That initial
15
loading,
seconds or
that-
more once or twice.
that
I mean.
initial loading screen takes a little while. Once you pass that, everything flows. Whereas on the PS3, if you change sections, it just goes chug, chug, chug,
I'm
chug,
still
chug.
having that issue with my PlayStation Store, by the way.
What, the
Well, I
free
can't
games
seem-
are free?
Yeah. Some of the games don't actually show up as free until I actually decide to take a risk and dump them in my basket.
Yeah, it does.
And they're not showing up on my PlayStation Plus main page either. I've still got to go and find them one by one.
But what did impress me is that when we were in a game and it was like, okay, let's see what's on the store sort of thing, because I had a code to download, so I downloaded the code, and it went straight into the store from the game, which if you have a PlayStation 3, you know how much of a bitch that is when, oh, let's go to the store. No, I'll just do it separately.
I don't have
Yep.
a PS3.
In the PS4, it just went, oh, you want to go to the store? Boom. There you go. Okay, downloaded it. Okay, back to your game. It wasn't offensive at all.
It's dangerously seamless.
It is very much a lovely, quick experience.
It's like, here, we
Jumping-
want you to spend money. You've spent it. Congratulations, back to your game.
Yeah. Literally. Which is bad when you think of how bad it was when it was a case of, did you like playing this demo? Press this button to buy it.
You've bought it. Well done. Now carry on playing.
Accidentally press button. What did I do? Dung. Oh, look, I've spent money. Oh, I've got the game. Wah.
Yeah, it wasn't so much of an accident with you.
No.
I mean, you accidentally clicked
This
all
is
those
why I
confirm
have
screens.
This is why I have password confirmation for everything on my account.
I had that, but it pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was playing way too many Rock Band songs, and it was just getting in the way. I was like, no.
Well, it's required password confirmation if you're using the console. If I'm using just the browser page, it doesn't actually ask me for password confirmation after I buy, so I'm not sure what the settings like there. Yeah.
It did on my PS3. After every time you wanted to go to pay for something, it would ask you for your password.
Yeah.
Every fucking Rock Band track out of the hundreds we've purchased.
Yeah, I can see why
annoying
that
too.
would be an issue when you're doing loads of purchases at once.
Because you do it through the Rock Band store, and you can't put many songs in the basket.
Wait, I
You've
think I
got
know
to
why it's
do
not
each song
asking for
individually.
a password. Because I'm not actually purchasing anything that requires money.
That might be it.
God, the Jew is strong in me.
There's a sentence you didn't think Felix would say.
Really? Because it's happened quite a lot.
He has
Having
a strong
Jews
Jew
in
him.
you strongly.
Okay, now I think we're just going a bit weird.
Yeah.
Going? Have you seen the pictures on channel?
Yeah.
I've
So-
been avoiding all of that.
My experience so far has been going through the PSN for the PlayStation 4, which is a different PSN to the PlayStation 3 PSN, but there is some similarity. It lags a little bit, which is noticeable, and it doesn't have much except padding at the moment, which is primarily because it's when did it get released? Last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been out for a little while, since November.
Yeah, and it just doesn't feel like there's much there. And my fucking god, the prices. Fucking hell. 50 quid, 55 quid for an online downloadable game from the bloody provider of this. 50 quid for Thief or whatever. Ridiculous prices.
Yeah, but that's the publisher setting those prices, not Sony. So you got to go, oi, Vivendi, or whoever the fuck it is, fuck you. This is why disc-based games won't die out anytime soon.
Unfortunately.
Because you are ripping us off on the digital versions.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're doing it. Maybe
Possibly.
they
I do
don't
have to
want
wonder.
you to do download only. Maybe they want you to go on disc, so they have to go through the stores and stuff. Maybe there's a little kind of a backhanding publishing deal going on there.
Possibly. And we've seen a couple of interesting games that Alex has played, which is Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Awesome Noughts, which is quite entertaining. I've held the controller, which is alright. I'm not entirely sure of the matte kind of surface yet.
There was a tear in his eye as he held it.
And I've not yet seen any reason to have the touchpad at all.
I've seen reasons
Why
for
do you
it.
think the Steam controller got rid of it?
No. The applications for that touchpad have been quite nice so far.
I've not encountered them or something in my
My
brief
God, is that
playing.
Skeleton Cop?
It was very useful on YouTube.
In
But
fact,
I've also played DVDs in there so
Yeah, but there's
far.
a song about
It's
Skeleton
different
Cop.
playing DVDs on there
Isn't
than
the
it
AV
is
Hell thing?
playing on the PS3 because they've changed the controller functions a little bit. So it's like, can I get out of this bloody video? No, I've got to press it this way, this way, this way. Ah, things
Play a
to get
video,
used to.
hit share.
Share. Ah! And I don't like it. This like options share. Let's start. What
Yeah,
button do I press to start?
Where's start and select gone? Fuck!
I want to start the game. What do I press to start?
The worrying
Options.
thing is that the PS4 joypad for me felt so natural that when I was around my sister's house playing it over Christmas,
Yeah.
not Christmas, I'm sorry, my dad's birthday or whatever, I didn't notice it was missing. The game I was using didn't require a start or select button because I was in the playroom because she's got the eye as well, so we were doing all the kind of augmented reality stuff. And I didn't notice start and select were missing until Alex pointed it out when we were using his joypad. And I was like, what do you mean they're missing? No, oh shit, they're missing.
Yeah, it's only.
Shit, where'd they go?
It's only when you start playing a game when you would expect to press start for something, like you have the main menu and you go bang. Because I noticed, especially with like Infamous, that does that anyway. You start the game straight off. Assassin's Creed had quite a smooth straight off jump in. I've not seen Thief at
So
all.
have you
so I
heard
don't know.
the news from some famous parkour guy who said that he may or may not have just been doing some motion capture for Assassin's Creed Unity,
Blah.
in which they're introducing horizontal wall running?
Yay!
Ooh.
Well, we'll see. But what are your thoughts then on buying the PS4? Do you think it's something that you're enjoying at the moment?
Alex, stop looking at the yaoi.
I'm not. I'm not.
I think the answer is yes, but it's got limited appeal at the moment due to the lack of games that are currently
And the
available.
price of games that are going to be coming out.
Oh, fuck
let's
yeah,
be
the
fair.
price. And generally to the people then who've been pissing around with this one in here, have we enjoyed this comparable to when we got the PS3s? Have we enjoyed this kind of
I
experience?
can't comment like that because PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 and Vita, I've got very late into their lifespans. So I've always been kind
That
of
and
generation
TK
behind
is our
mostly.
in-house PlayStation fanboy, so
Yeah. Well,
He's a bit biased, really.
Yeah, but I've always jumped on the PlayStation consoles kind of in their heyday.
Yes.
So I haven't had to suffer the glut at the beginning where they haven't had many titles available.
Yeah.
I've always been when they're at their strongest.
Well, I got the PS1 midway, partway through the initial phase because I was starting picking up Tekken and things like that. The PS2 I got with Final Fantasy X.
I got a
PS3 I got with Batman.
PS1 in 1996 or 7. Can't remember how far into its life that was.
2 years, if it was 97.
Yeah, I had a few decent games back then as well.
So I got PS1 around about about 1999, I think, actually. Yeah, it's about that, actually, because I got it for my birthday from my mother.
I think I got Wild Arms with it and got rid of that for Worms because I
Why?
was young and dumb.
But when
Yes.
PlayStation came out, I bought a friend's Mega Drive because he was selling his Mega Drive so he could buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I bought his Mega Drive with a shit ton of games.
Yeah.
Well, bargain prices. And I spent 5-6 years having fucking good time on that while everyone else was playing PlayStation.
Well, there was the difference is though with the PlayStation there was only a few games that you wanted, but there was so many little bitty games that came out.
And there were so many good little games as
Oh
well.
yeah, there were quite
I
a
mean,
few.
there was a ton of shovelware, but some of that shovelware was actually a little gem hiding away.
Yes. Some of the third-person shooters were good. A few other things.
And come on, Sheepdog and Wolf.
Fuck
Yes.
yeah. That was a
Oh
great
yeah.
game.
But I will say, I mean, my use of the
world's
PlayStation
first
4 so
and last
far,
shoot 'em up.
my niggles are the differences for going
Your what?
from niggles.
Your what?
My niggles are from going from PS3 to this.
Like a cut diamond.
The differences because they've got the touch buttons for the power on and the eject, and that takes a little bit of getting used to rather than having the clearly defined buttons.
They are clearly defined. They're just really thin.
Really thin, and you're not entirely sure where the fuck they are until you get right up to it. The interface is different. Binding stuff is a little bit different. It is big button, as like TK mentioned, it's like big ass things that come up, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get we're expecting big screens, but seriously, economic design, elegant design, people.
We're expecting big screens and you to be sat very far away from them.
Not a chance. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to probably end up getting this midway through its through the first part of its life cycle anyway, because there's nothing out there for me to buy aside from Watch Dogs, and that's cross-platform. You know, so we'll have to wait and see on the PS4. But generally, I think it's positive comments so far from everyone in the room.
It's a nice little bit of kit. I do like its physical design. It's very pretty. And the rear side of it's very well designed. And all the kind of inputs are not hidden away per se, but they're tucked away, so they're less likely to get damaged from accidental locks and things. Unlike the PS1, 2 and 3, where they were just kind of in the back, and if something
Sticking
banged
out
your
of it.
cable,
Yeah.
your thing was fucked.
Although I'm not a fan of it's an eraser.
Oh, yeah, it looks quite nice.
It's all right.
It's certainly
kind
better
of,
than being a box.
It's
like a VHS.
hiding next to the PC. I mean, if it was all that same matte colour, then I could technically just glance over it and not realise it's there. It's just that shiny bit
I like the shiny bit. It's
Shiny.
nice.
with the light strip going, I'm blue, I'm white.
I'm blue. I'm orange on standby. It's like I'm watching you.
That's the PS4.
It's pretty.
I played Symphony. This
On the
was
PC?
the game that TK purchased for me from the Indie Humble Bundle.
Yeah, because it was like if you
Which
pay-
one? The weekly one or
Yeah,
the main one?
the weekly one.
Ah,
It's like pay $1, have 3 or 4 rhythm action games.
Yeah.
you kidding? I paid the full $6.
Oh.
I
dear.
didn't want the bonus games.
Yeah. I got
Well, you might as
Symphony.
well, and you can give them away as freebies on the show.
No, you can't.
No.
You can. You can get Steam gift codes.
Yeah, but you have to buy the whole lot of it.
Yeah, the
And-
gift codes you have to give to...
And the gift code is a gift for the whole bundle, not for the
Yeah.
individual games.
No, it's not.
Yes,
It is.
I can turn any individual game into a Steam gift code.
Well,
In
you're
fact,
gonna-
I did it by accident on one of the games.
Oh, only if you put the code in and then do it via Steam to then be it as a gift.
No, I did it from my login page on the
Did
Humble
you?
Bundle. Yeah.
Oh,
Get Steam code, click any one. Instead of clicking the Get Steam key, click on the right-hand side as a present for each individual
we didn't
game.
look hard, but I got Symphony out of this, and I'm actually really enjoying this. This is kind of along the style of like asteroids, Space Invaders, Beat Hazard style game, in that it takes your music from your PC to create procedurally generated levels where it throws in lots of little different ships, and you fly around as your ship. You upgrade and obtain weapons by completing songs and blow the ships up to collect notes and power-ups, bombs, to get higher chains, to get chains, to get higher scores, to hit on the leaderboards, and then defeat these bosses, because it also has this very interesting storyline of this virus that is breaking into the physical world by stealing the souls of composers. So you're fighting these bosses based on the idea of composers being stolen by this thing in order to face you, and it's actually quite nice. The graphics are very neon arcadey, and it is a very fun little mouse-based wave your mouse around shooter. The fact that it does procedural generated music is probably the best thing for me, because it has staggered levels, so you can play the same music over and over again at different levels. It does get harder, and certain music will change the entirety of that level in terms of how you end up facing against different enemies. If you're a fan of the clarity, don't play this game. It will fuck you up, because the clarity music beats the shit out of you every single time.
I want to put their CD through Vib Ribbon. Little Vibri's going to go ape shit.
I played the Vib Ribbon music on this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, because I got all of the audio surf stuff as well on my PC, and I thought, oh, this works. Whee! And you can find all these different weapons with greater powers. The more powerful your ship, the less the modifier you get. So you are encouraged to go into levels with down-powered weapons to try and clear harder levels with ships that take a lot more hits, and there are a lot more ships coming at all different angles at you, to then get onto the leaderboards. Now, it's been a good month or two since it's actually come out, so the scoreboards are looking like decimated in terms of when I jumped on there. There's some songs that people have got on there.
grammar Nazi senses tingling.
And there are some songs
reduced
on
by
there that have
10%.
people on there, and then there are some that have no one whatsoever. But it is a really fun little game, and it's one that I can just jump on there and play a few songs and jump off. Or spend an hour going through my library going, I like that song, let's play that. Wah. I like that song, let's play that. Wah. And it's just like having the music playing in the background of any kind of shooter. But it gels really quite well. It is on Steam. I'm not entirely sure of how much it costs, because obviously I got it for free.
And I got it for $1.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even get. I got free games for $1.
And it's an interesting little shoot 'em up. It's certainly well worth the purchase,
Of nothing.
and it's very much something that I would recommend if you're a fan of Beat Hazard, Audio Surf, any of those games.
The rhythm action genre.
Yeah, and it's not just rhythm action. It is literally a shoot 'em up that you can have so that you have control over your lasers, or auto fire in terms of your lasers. So all you're doing is zooming your mouse around. I like it, and I would certainly recommend it to any of those fans. I would immediately recommend it to our music bullet hell fans, which is primarily Evie and Alex, when he steers away from the street fighting.
Yeah,
'Cause
Alex.
It has that bullet hell feel to it, and it really is quite manic. But it is retro styly, so it's something that would appeal to the older generation, so me. So get out there. It is on Steam. Symphony, Symphony, and can purchase. It is very good.
Whereas the other rhythm action game on that Humble Bundle, that wasn't Bit Trip Runner, whatever it's called, because
Yep.
we've already got Bit Trip games, but was
Sequence.
Never remember its fucking name. And it's a DDR up.
An RPG DDR 'em up.
Yeah. Normally, DDR has you mashing the 4 arrows in one window. This gives you 3 windows to mash arrows in. which doesn't get confusing at all.
Defense, magic, and attack.
Yeah, and basically you have to take down your opponent using the power of mashing buttons.
Yep.
So you have to cast magic. To cast magic, you have to go into the magic window and cast some magic by basically choosing your spell with the number keys, and then hitting the arrows to launch the spell.
Me and Alex think I was slightly confused by a tweet from Patrick Stewart a quarter of an hour ago.
Why?
When I sleep in a tightly tucked in hotel bed, I feel 3 months old again and already dead.
Cot death.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to Sid James.
Now you know. Yeah.
I'm not apologising for that joke.
How about Peaches Geldof?
Moving on. So, sequence we'll have a look at next week, I feel, because I'll have a bit more time to play that.
It's good fun. It's fucking confusing. And the music in the opening stages isn't brilliant, and it's not particularly difficult. But, well, unless you mash the difficulty up, and then it goes, hey, do you know what? Fuck you! You know what, those windows? Have shit all at once. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Moving on then to TK, who has Final Fantasy X HD. He went out and bought the Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2
Yeah, on the same
on
disc.
HD, so he could play Blitzball.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I fucking love Blitzball. And although I've got a PS2 permanently plugged in and kept in a drawer with a copy of Final Fantasy X loaded in it at all times,
Still.
yeah, all I've got to do is change channel and press a button and I get Blitzball straight away. It's brilliant. But I was at the point where I've beaten the game a good many times. I've only ever played through wholly once,
Yeah.
but I've got a save state inside Sin right at the end. And my Kamari is just a hard bastard. And it got to the point where I was like, I could do with running through this again. And I had started a new game, but then 10 and 10.2 came out on the PS3. So I was like, purchase.
Yeah.
I will have me some of that instead.
Well, 10.2 is one that I probably wouldn't mind going back to because I didn't get a chance to properly play that. 10 I played until Sin, and then realised there was no way I could complete it because holy weapons.
You don't need the celestial weapons.
You say that.
You really don't need the celestial weapons.
Yeah, but you spent like how long getting Kamari hard?
Kamari wasn't so much hard as... Because he was only about a third of the sphere grid complete, so... He was nowhere near as leveled as he probably should or B could have been.
You remember what the sphere grid looks like, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yes,
and Kamari
a
had
third.
Yeah, Kamari had covered a blip of it. You know, if you're supposed to have sent all of your characters around the sphere grid at least once by the time you actually get to Sin.
Fuck.
I have no idea how the fuck you do that.
No idea.
But I just used some creative friend spheres and return spheres and other spheres on Kamari just to bounce him around to give him all the good shit early, effectively, and then send him powering up through some of Wakka's route and through some of Auron's route just to gain some power.
Yeah, and he was foul.
He was foul.
But anyway,
Like,
10...
here's my fighting character. He has Ultima. Have fun with that, guys.
And 10, then, in terms of playing the main game,
Yeah, I've played some
what's
of it.
with the upgrade, then? How is it that... How's that dealing
It's
with the main
shiny.
game? Yeah.
Basically, it looks a lot like Final Fantasy X did, except bigger. That's the only way I can put it. Basically, it doesn't look as shit as it did, but stretched on an HD telly. Because 10 did not age well on
No.
HD tellies.
Although I
It
will
looks
say the
hideous.
characters look a little bit fatter, wider
I
with
think
the
that
HD.
maybe just more the aspect ratio. 'Cause
Possibly.
all the FMV, well, say, yeah, the FMV's cropped, so they haven't kind of mastered it for the resolution. So it may just be the fact it's being squished onto the screen, as opposed to kind of because I think the original game was not quite 69 or 4th or something like that. So all these new characters where they haven't really done much apart from just gone, let's just increase the shiny level. There we go. Now it's shinier. So that might be why they look a bit fatter, or it just might be your perspective.
Possibly.
There's always that. But no, it just looks like Final Fantasy X did when you had it on the PS2 back in the olden days on a CRT telly. It looks like that again, but nice on an HD telly. And that's all I can ever really want from an HD re-release. I want the original game with a new coat of paint.
So there's not any real additions in terms of bells and whistles?
We're getting the international edition, which is what we had pretty much in Europe anyway.
Right.
So for places like Japan, this is the first time they can experience international edition. And therefore, because Japan never got the
As
Dark
well as the
Aeons.
post-game content as well, the Eternal Calm,
fuck
etc.
the
Yeah.
Dark
And
Aeons.
the Dark Aeons and stuff, which Japan never got originally, so this is their first chance to get it, unless they've imported a copy of the international edition.
Why would you do that?
The
Because-
game also has some updated features.
Oh yeah, there's new musics. Well, not new musics,
Okay.
remixed musics. They've remastered.
Yeah, the battle tune isn't actually quite as droning anymore.
Yeah, the battle theme's actually quite exciting now with the right instruments behind it, and the Blitzball theme's been tweaked.
So they're not balls hard all the time.
Huh?
The Blitzball teams have been
No,
tweaked.
theme.
Oh, the theme. Oh, I thought you said the teams.
No, the teams are still piss weak. Except for that opening match was just dicks, because I forgot that the game basically plays Blitzball for you for half the fucking game.
Yes.
It's like, no wonder no one can fucking win this, because it goes, oh, did you want to play Blitzball? Tough, we'll play it for you.
But hey, if you manage it, at least you get something half decent for doing so.
Yeah.
Ish.
I mean, it's something that you can get, like, what, 10 hours down the line?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm pretty sure I'm well over 10 hours already.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Most of that in Blitzball.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been trying to split my time between playing Mass Effect, Bravely Default, Final Fantasy X.
It's now got to...
Yeah.
I'm in the second league now for Blitzball.
Why so many RPGs?
There's 12... I think it's 10 games per league.
Yeah.
I'm now my second league. And I won the first league.
Yes.
I took my nobody team, lost 2 matches to start with,
Yep.
and drew 1 match and won the others. And now in the second league, I haven't lost a game yet.
Have you played any of X2 at all?
Only on the PS2, and that was only basically about an hour or so. And then I got I haven't completed 10 yet. I've really got to stop playing the sequel in case I spoil some of 10, because I'd gone through 10 without any spoilers.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, but mostly it's like referencing back to the missing of Tidus.
They retconned, though, because Tidus came back in Final Fantasy X. They actually said, you could restore him. It was meant to be a thing, it definitely happened, but then they sort of retconned it back so that he was still disappeared and missing in the 10-2. That's why some people didn't... the story wasn't well received by some people.
But at the end of 10...
The story was actually okay-ish
I
in 10-2.
would like to point out that is because they never intended...
For there to be a sequel.
Yes, it's that they made a post cutscene, which was set 2 years down the line, which is basically how everybody was getting on with their lives, sort of thing. And it was so well received by fans that they decided that people were basically pushing for another game, and so they thought, well, if that's what Square Enix being, Square Enix, they thought, why don't we try it?
And I said this pretty much every single time we brought up 10-2. But the battle system is one of the best in all of the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah.
Do you want to click the link that Werewolf has put in channel?
Another one.
Not really, but let's give it anyway.
Wow.
My God. I'm that goblin guy from Labyrinth.
Yes, you are. and Felis. No, Alex has an eye problem.
I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, and I'm Killer Bunny.
That bunny is awesome.
Dave.
I think that picture of Alex will give people nightmares.
Yeah, that'll give people nightmares. There we go.
That shit is not safe for work.
Oh dear. Thank you, Werewolfie. So overall, then, with the new updates, are you enjoying this as much as you did Final Fantasy X?
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm gonna say it has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it, but I've been enjoying Blitzball. Fuck yeah, I've been enjoying Blitzball. I really like Blitzball.
TK is the thing for Blitzball.
I don't think it's one of the few sports I actually enjoy. If Blitzball was a real thing and it had the kind of following it does in Final Fantasy X, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much because, well, look at all the people we have in this planet. They're all chav scum. So I'd probably enjoy it less because it would be associated with chav scum. But where there's no chav scum on Spira, Blitzball's pretty awesome.
Would you recommend the HD remake for people?
If you're a fan of Final Fantasy X, yes. If you've never played Final Fantasy X, give it a try. If you hated Final Fantasy X, there's nothing here that's going to make you like it. Apart from shiny graphics. And if you're just a graphics soul, then give it a try, why not? And not everything is shiny graphics. Some of the kind of background characters still have their...
Yeah,
flat
basically,
faces.
it's only the named character, your main party, that have actually had the updated textures for their faces.
Oh god, yeah, the strange conversation that
it
I
really
was watching.
shows when you watch any scene where they're interacting with other NPCs in the game. Even major NPCs. And I don't even think Seymour's been updated, has he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd imagine so, 'cause he's a major NPC.
Slightly.
But it's that bloody git that I never liked, who was a fellow summoner, the male one, not the female.
Seymour.
No, not Seymour. The one that was also doing the pilgrimage.
Oh.
who had Muscles McMuscles, who was a fan of Auron, who was just a complete
You mean the guy who
dick.
basically looked like a samurai?
Yeah, and he wandered around. He was a smarmy prick, and I hated
No,
him.
it was the woman who had Muscles McMuscles.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because that was why. What was her fucking name?
Yeah, I can't remember any of these characters, but I just couldn't stand the woman. But that guy I felt was a smarmy prick, and it was a case of I just want to punch you in your face.
But he never said anything.
No, he did. He did. And
didn't
then
say-
Seymour came along, and it was a case of, so you're the bad guy. I wondered when I'd meet you. Where the fuck did you go?
You meet him very briefly at the Battle of the Machina versus Sin,
Yep.
Yep.
and then he fucks off again, and you go, oh. And next thing you know, Yuna's porking him.
You mean Seymour?
Yeah, Seymour.
No, he pops along during the journey, like
Yeah,
ever since
briefly.
Luca.
he
Yeah,
pops
like
along
I say,
because
he pops up at the Battle of Sin.
Yeah.
No. He pops up at Luca because he's there with the other maesters. He pops
Oh,
up
yes.
along the Mihail.
Yeah, the behind High Road, which is where you have. the
Yeah,
battle
where he
against
goes
Sin.
basically, hey, Yuna, nah, she's with me.
Yuna's pretty fucking hot. We should get together and support
I'm going to
Machina.
pork this woman.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you meet him again in the Guado city.
Yep, because he is a Guado.
It's a
Yeah.
case of, hey, I'm already dead, so you know I'm always stiff.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, it's just
Can't spoil it for him.
it's not like he's not around. He is around. He's just not. He just happens to be following the same road as you.
He's
For
spending
reason.
too much time waxing his chest hair to be an effective villain.
Yeah.
Even Kuja got more time than him. Except Kuja was a fairly decent villain.
He
all in all.
was. He pulled the strings in the first part. Of
Until
the game.
Nobuo got full creative control over everything in Dissidia and ruined everything.
Dear God. So that was the Final Fantasy X HD.
Play
Felis, you mentioned that you had a
Yamatsu.
couple of things for
Yes,
Kick Felis.
yes, I did.
So
First
this
off,
is Kick Felis.
TK, mute him.
Ha.
TK.
Ha.
I've pressed
You
the mute
just-
button.
Kick
It wasn't you, was
Felis.
it? Damn it! I think we just muted Alex. We just didn't at this. Hey,
Studio
you bastards!
Felis.
So, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned Toby's Island was being kickstarted, which was an RPG Maker game. No. An RPG Maker game!
RPG.
Link in channel, please.
Hello? No.
Link in channel, please.
Link in channel. Who's Link?
He wants you to link it in channel
It's
E,
dark
even
in
though
here.
we done it last week.
We're not.
My ears!
The only two people in channel
Worth
are
it.
the ones who have seen it already, so we can just talk about it.
What are we talking about?
Okay,
I
hang.
don't
Toby's
know.
Island.
I'm not even in channel.
Oh, fuck's sake, Felis.
I'll be there in a minute. Toby's Island was that RPG Maker game that they're asking for the funds to complete.
Cool. Has it completed yet?
They did.
By how much?
By nearly 1,000 Canadian dollars, more than they wanted.
So
about
50
£8 then.
pence.
But they got nearly 21,000 Canadian dollars with 700 backers.
Not too bad. So we should see this come out next year?
I'm not entirely sure, really.
It's been about a year or two for games like this, projects like this to come out.
Yeah.
So a year or two.
But they already have an engine in place, so all they're doing is it's mostly the artwork and some extra game mechanics that need doing, as well as all the work is to implementing it all.
Cool.
All the scripting and the code therein.
Meanwhile, I've talked about Intergalactic Nemesis before, haven't I?
You may have mentioned it.
The pulp fiction-y style radio play / comic, which got turned into a multimedia event for stage show, which is a comic
yes.
on thing.
I remember that.
That is. Now, they're wanting to get the stage show in all of its awesome glory and make some DVDs. And to
Okay.
do that, they need money.
Fair
Money,
enough.
money,
So
money.
they've gone to Indiegogo. In order to make it happen, they need $25,000, of which they have $15,000, with another 18 days to get it done in.
Is this worth putting in for?
Yes.
Elaborate yes, a little
I will
bit.
show you. I've gotten the kind of sort of legitimate downloads of the whole stage show off of
Right.
YouTube. I can show you them after the show.
Well, we just need a little bit of elaboration in terms of why we should invest. We don't need a
Because
full thing.
it is sheer awesome fun. It's unashamedly retro Pulp Fiction style radio show and storyline But all the effort they put into this, they have on the stage, they've just got 3 voice actors doing the whole thing. Including some of the effects they can pull off just with the 3 of them is actually pretty damn good. They have a Foley artist on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have a live musician on the stage to provide most of the background music for them.
As opposed to a dead one.
Yes.
So
No, as opposed to pre-recorded music, is what I'm saying.
What was this called?
The Intergalactic Nemesis. I should be in channel to post links momentarily. Honest.
Well, what I am doing is...
What it is, TK, you've seen the trailers and some of the opening of the episode, haven't you?
No.
Of the first one. Yeah, you have, because I did it here on your TV.
Oh, shit, it's not Kickstarter, is
Oh,
it?
wait, yes,
It's not, it's Indiegogo. Yeah. You remember looking at you said it looked like fun as well, didn't you, from what you'd seen? So TK could probably sort of back me up on the fact that, yeah, this is actually something that'd be worth contributing to get DVDs of.
It's always worth getting DVDs of shows, though. So, because
yeah.
you can't always see the show, and sometimes they pop in and pop out of existence. And so by having the DVD there, you can watch it whenever, even years after it's no longer showing.
On YouTube, the guy that made the entire series has got a... Hang on.
Finally, channel.
Excuse me. Yeah. Has got a series of videos that they've recorded at different showings of Book 1, Target Earth. Which is kind of okay, but the quality could be a lot better for most of them, which is why they actually do want to make sure that you've got the full DVD experience. And they've already got the comic books out and the drama CDs. So the stage show is really what's given them... What's That Buzz is actually a series with their Foley artist, Buzz Moray. And links in channel.
Yeah, please, because I can't find it.
Right. There we go.
There we go. So this is well worth investing in. So we're gonna chuck.
If you
the
do
links
like
in
a
the
bit
show
of
notes.
campy, radio play fun, then
Us.
Yeah. And you see them. They just finished Sydney, I think it is, that they've been going around. You've seen this auditorium packed full of people from all age ranges. Yeah, you got your little tech geeks in the middle somewhere, some little kids and grannies in the front row. Everybody managed to enjoy the hell out of it.
Nice.
It has got a very wide appeal without actually being kind of shit.
Cool. So well worth to actually invest in.
Yeah.
I've got the link now, so we're going to chuck that in the show notes because we got show notes this
And-
episode.
Another game that you might want to donate to.
Yes.
What happens if you get the founder and one of the lead musicians of Depeche Mode and the creator of Johnny Bravo to make a game together?
You get depressing Johnny Bravo.
You get Dancers of War, a musical beat 'em up.
Okay, I'm slightly
Okay.
worried.
Oh no, it's awesome because your main character is actually the voice of Johnny Bravo as well.
Oh
They
my
got
God.
him back. You play as Sergeant Jack Dancer, an enthusiastic Marine with novice dance skills. In this world, dance has been weaponized with the invention of an exoskeleton leotard called the Exotard 3000. Using dance, Jack will shoot, block, bomb, and boogie his way to victory. Your mission is
Okay.
to save the world from a maniacal pop star. Pick your way through his island fortress, facing one dance master and his minions at a time, defeating the masters to gain their moves.
The
No.
scariest thing is they've got the picture of the voice of the creator, not the voice.
Oh yeah, Jeff Bennett. It will be the main character, as well as D. Bradley Baker, who most people remember as Klaus the Goldfish from.
Oh my
American
God,
Dad.
he did the man in the yellow hat in Curious George.
Yeah, Jennifer Hale will also be in the game.
What is Jennifer Hale not in with her generic voice?
Well,
I don't
well,
know if I can.
She's
Your
earned the
pants.
Guinness
Commander
World
Shepard.
Record
And
title
she's
for
fake
being.
Commander Shepard as well.
Yeah.
For fucking
Wait, she's
terrible.
earned the Guinness World Record for being the most prolific video game voice actor female.
Yeah, she's actually been in lots.
She's,
and she has
she's
very-
like a female Nolan North, but not as good.
Excuse me,
There are better voice actors
Commander
out there
Shepard.
than her.
Commander Shepard.
I even rate Christy V over her.
Oh
This is
motherfucker, it is
weird.
on.
God,
I know
this
where
is
you
weird.
sleep.
You wanna go with I know when you sleep.
Do you want to know how laughably easy it is to break into any bedroom in that house?
You go through a window.
No, I can go through your door. All I need is a knife.
Although I will say their
Don't ever go to sleep.
goal is $750,000.
Yeah, that is the thing.
And they've only just gotten 14,079.
Well,
be-
when did they start? They started on the 1st, so they've had a week in which they've not had much word yet.
Yeah.
It's usually around the second week that everything starts to pick up for most Kickstarters.
Well, we shall see and let you know because.
But
we will
I
be
do
back.
kind of want to back this because it just looks fun.
To be fair,
Just fun.
that is a realistic target for a
Yeah, they are trying to
game.
make it a full AAA title.
That's like the actual cost of a game. Like, I'm sure we have discussed this before, but most
Probably.
Kickstarter games actually have like, you know, a certain amount, like £50,000, and it's actually not that much that's needed to create the content they want to create. It's actually something like 150, but they have people who will say they'll
Other
back
funds.
the amount. Yeah, they'll say, oh, if you can get this, if you can raise the money,
Then
raise
we'll
the
give
rest.
you
Yeah.
some more money. Yeah. Like bankers. So that's Kick Fearless with a couple of things. If you're interested, these will be as links in the show notes, for we now have show notes for episode 3.
Yay!
Which I have posted also to TK so he can see what's going on and what we talked about.
Now, if
we
you
have-
could just do the show notes for the other shows, that'd be brilliant.
No, we have some lovely pictures from Werewolfie which will probably make their way onto the site as well. If you're interested in sending us stuff, asking us questions, wanting to find out more, you can find us at tigertailsradio.co.uk or tigertails.co.uk. You can email us at radio@tigertailsradio.co.uk. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are also on the YouTube channels, hello, as well as Google+. So you can find us in many, many different ways. And we also have our sister site, Tiger Tales Gaming, the Done and Dusted blog. We also have Felis, who has his own little review things and story things that he likes to do as well.
And we
So-
also have, don't forget, it's not ours, but it is Felis's.
Yes,
Mad Fanfic Theatre!
that's the one.
Which is only about a week and a half away from being resumed.
So he says.
So he says.
Yeah, right.
So there's plenty of stuff.
Doctor Who. Williams.
Well, I want to find out how Joker saves the ponies.
Ponies!
With electricity.
Electricity. But there is plenty of stuff there. If you are interested, go to our websites. But we are now pretty much at the end of the show because it is gone past 10 o'clock. One last thing before we wrap up. We have finished.
Can I stop banging my head now?
Nah, yeah. We have finished the role playing for Savage Coast. So that is over, and coming this Sunday will be the starting back up of our Orthodoxy Adventures, which is Mutants and Masterminds superhero role playing. Yeah, Alex, you going
Going where?
this Sunday?
Yeah, with Big Alex, then yes. I did say I'd go and play some Marvel just because the players down here are probably shit. I'm not even joking. I don't know any of the scene members down here for Marvel games. Most of them
Probably
are
the
in
same
London.
for the Mortal Kombat games.
There isn't really a scene. No, that's a lie. There is, but it's not a proper scene down here. It's just not good. Let's just say that. It's a bunch of people that are like my bunch of people, but they're like not the same level as my bunch of people.
Dear God.
Well,
So-
that's descriptive and helpful.
Yeah, so we'll be maybe talking about that on Monday. I will be back up in Bournemouth by then
Oh.
because I'll be working next week.
That's still something me and you have to sort out, TK.
What's that?
I have some Steam gift codes that I must give away.
Oh, yes.
For
you
games
do.
that I no longer want or need.
Well, I shall leave that for you to figure out.
notably Edge of Space and Spec Ops The Line.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do is we'll figure out a competition for our listeners to join in on, and then we can figure out how we can get that to a Steam viewer.
I was thinking about some sort of gaming challenge, perhaps.
We
Or
haven't
maybe
done a retro
artwork.
gaming challenge. Or...
We haven't had an art contest for a while.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, some people really do want to flex their creative muscles.
Yeah.
Warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my artistic talent's gone and gone.
Which is a shame, because you should still owe Shogo some.
I know.
Season 4.
Yeah, terribly sorry.
Well, I
We
might
haven't
actually be
forgotten
getting
you,
rid of a
though.
bunch of art stuff if you want to.
I'm not... There's no way in hell I can do art now.
Pete, why are you typing letters during the show?
Letters?
That's what it looks like on this monitor. Are they the show notes?
Yeah, that's the show notes.
Yeah, it looks like a letter. It looks
Well,
like,
one's IRC, one's the show notes.
yeah. At least it isn't a big thing saying fuck
I'm
off.
trying to look at the tabs that's open.
That one.
Hey guys, what's oh, I see Pete has irritable bowel syndrome. What's that tab marked RedTube? What's that?
That's the one mark. It's X-Tube you want to worry about.
TigerTails Radio.
Oh my
show
god, why has he got
notes.
Fire TV up?
TigerTails Radio. Show notes.
Show us your firebox. Oh, On that note, it's a good night from the Angel Dog song.
Good night.
It's a good night from the Xavier.
Good night.
It's a good night from the Felis.
Good night.
And it's a good night for myself, TK. Thank you very much for listening for this week's Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
As Xavier says, next week he'll be back home in Bournemouth.
Yay.
So camera will probably be back on me. And now is not the appropriate time to show fuck off, Pete. I'm watching.
Timing.
Or lack thereof.
Timing!
It's like, that's it.
Oh wait, no,
fuck off.
that means dead now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I love
on
the
that
timing
note,
of the channel.
it is a very good night. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week at around about 8 o'clock UK time for
Yes.
another exciting episode of TigerTails Radio.
Radio.
But until then, it's night, everybody.
Night. Night.